Hello, everybody. Let me go ahead and transition over here real quick. Hello. Right, it's fair. Hey, everybody. So, yeah, I'm trying to become, a more professional streamer, as it were. Excuse me while I plug my fucking headphones in. That's very loud. I fucked that up. But yeah. Anyway, welcome, everybody, back to my, Let's Read the Homestuck Epilogues. My name is Brodemus. I'm super far behind in getting everything ready today. So, yeah, if I'm still getting ready, y'all shouldn't be all that surprised. Pantheos, Serax, Salsa, welcome, everybody. I'm still trying to get caught up because I suck. I spent all morning doing a bunch of stuff. Hello, R-Jack, Fat Dog, how you doing? I'm trying to get everything caught out, putting the word out. I gotta open Discord. I've been running behind today, if I'm perfectly honest. Hello, Dawn. Chalky milk. Oh yeah, got that sweet chalky milk. I just got some water and one of my wife's kind bars because I didn't eat lunch. I had breakfast at like 11:30. So does that count? Does that count as a lunch? Let's get this going. Hello. Who's texting me? Oh. Okay, let's copy here, go over to here, create post. What the shitting fuck am I looking at here? Yeah, link. Oh, good. Tumblr has ads at the top now. Cool. The hell site continues to get worse. And watch me read more of the Homestuck Epilogues. Exclamation point. Oops, that's not how you spell Homestuck. Homestuck Epilogues. I suck. I suck. The boys out on Tumblr was bad. Which ad are they showing on Tumblr? The Homestuck Epilogues. Cause I'm like interested in the boys, but it hasn't sold me on it yet. I don't know what it is. I'm not quite sold on watching the boys yet. Thanks, Jack. RJ? Would you RJ or Jack? Which one would you prefer? Hey, streaming more of my Let's Read in the Homestuck Epilogues. Come watch. Link. Post. Cool. Online things are done. Half the screen. Ugh. Get your shit together. Well, Tumblr's never gonna get its shit together. It hasn't gotten its shit together since fucking 2011, so they ain't gonna start now. Fucking hell. RJ? Okay, cool. Go with that then. Community. I haven't checked the community a whole lot today. I've been at everyone. Come watch / listen to me read more of the Homestuck Epilogues. Link. Ready to send to 60 people? Holy shit. Yeah, we're at 60 people in Discord now. Hot damn. Alright, get ready to get out of Discord. Alright, so now that we're 7 minutes deep into this bitch, let's fucking get actually started, shall we? Nice. Alright, so we're on meat 30. Fucking hell, I wasted so much fucking time. I was listening to some of Brennemania play Hive Swap Friends, and when I was actually working on the pre-roll stuff and a few other things for the stream, and then I looked down, I was like, oh shit, it's 5 to 2, I need to get fucking ready. And then I scrambled, and I was like, fuck, let's get going. And then Streamlab didn't want to fucking sync up the pre-roll with everything. It's a whole fucking mess. I do have a couple people. Logan 77688, Blake _101, and Candleboxes. Thank you all for following over the last week or so. All right, now let's get into this. Meet 30. We got Jake, we got Karkat, and Dave. I'm sure this is gonna be great. Ah, chaps, don't you love to take a rigorous jaunt about the wilds first thing in the morning, middle thing in the day, and last thing in the evening? No. Yeah, I was watching Bren for a little bit, just in the background while I was working on the transition and the pre-roll and stuff like that, so I was like, oh, hey, Bren's streaming, I'll go watch for a little bit. It was funny, watching them go through Karako's route. Not funny, like, oh, man, but it's just, like, interesting to go back and be like, oh, man, wow. Yeah, that happened in Karako, didn't it? Damn. Alright. Karkat both looks and feels uncomfortable in his red and grey suit. He is tired from an afternoon of campaigning in the Consort Kingdom. Jake is jaunting rigorously, as he put it, up the ridge of the mountain behind his mansion. Every now and then he pauses to accommodate the pace of his less limber friends. By Jove, Karkat, that you are so winded by such little activity is truly alarming. We've been hiking for a fucking hour, dipshit. I can already feel my legs starting to lock up. I think they're getting a head start on the rigor mortis. Because you're fucking killing me is what I'm saying. By making me hike through nature in a fucking suit. Great work, everyone. You'll be offering up a pre-assassinated president to a frenzied electorate. Awesome strategy. Perhaps you need a better calisthenics routine. I can suggest several alterations to your morning workout and give you a lesson or two myself. My morning workout? I couldn't think of a more offensively presumptuous phrase if I tried. Also, what the fuck is a calisthenic? Is that the name of your fan cherub? Stupid fucking joke. Karkat's tirade is interrupted as he trips over a protruding tree root. Dave, who has been cheating on their hike by hovering very slightly off the ground rather than walking, catches Karkat before his face hits the dirt. He sets his companion upright and continues to guide him with his hand on his back as he walks, the way an older human does with a small child who is learning to ride a bicycle. Hey, Jake, we're cool on the whole cardio program or whatever. Karkat's not really what I'd call a kinesthetic learner. Hey, I can hold my own in a threshing match better than 99% of the squishy, placid human population on this planet. I was literally training to be a combat specialist on Alternia. Maybe we should sometimes try to remember and fucking respect that fact about me? Gonna make another mental note about which material to avoid when writing your campaign speeches. Like, dude is nuts with a sickle, can carve a bloody arc through a surrounding circle of gathered squishy humans, watch their guts spill on the floor while he roars the sky in honor of his genocidal ancestors. We're kind of trying to downplay the idea that trolls are naturally good at violence and shit here. Hey, speaking of which, Jake, you want to back Karkat in this election or what? Jake spins around in his worn boots. He bites his lip and looks at the ground. I see. That was your purpose in coming out here. Yeah, that is basically the only reason either of us would waste time climbing a mountain instead of, like, almost perfectly replicating the experience by checking out sweet stock photos of a mountain on the CrockerNet image search while spraying our hive with air freshener or something. Oh, hey, wait, that reminds me. Isn't it fucked up how Jane literally owns the internet? I never really thought about it I admit. It's pretty fucked up, trust me. Like, she already owns a major method of information dissemination, and now she wants to be the one ultimately in control of what information gets disseminated. Do you really think one person should have all that power? The answer is no, idiot. Yeah. Which, fucking, I'm trying to adjust my fucking sleeve. It's all bunching up on me on my fucking... Sorry. Yeah. Which is why you should back us in our campaign. Our campaign slogan for the purpose of this conversation only is, hey, isn't it cool how we're not Jane, and also we don't want to own everything. And also, man, on a more personal note, I mean, have you ever seen the shit Jane's been saying about you in the media? A look of sadness sweeps across Jake's face, but he quickly turns it into a glare of indignation. I've seen the shit you've been saying about her. Your poorly optimized billboards about huge dunks on the economy and the neoliberal austerity measures, tumbling down geometrically improbable staircases, have made quite a stir in the neighborhood. These advertisements play at all hours of the night. My good man, one can hardly get a wink of sleep. Jake's voice is fucking gone. It's changed about 40 times over the course of me reading Homestuck, and it's gonna keep fucking changing as long as I have to read this idiot. Yeah, but at least we paid for it out of campaign dollars instead of spinelessly setting up super PACs to spew out propaganda for us. Super PACs? Oh, yeah, listen to this bullshit. So they're technically expenditure independent committees, meaning they can allocate unlimited funding for... Karkat covers Dave's mouth, having had the concept of the super PAC laboriously explained in his presence more than once. In his estimation, there are few individuals on this world who would benefit less from an in-depth discussion of political financing procedure than Jake English. Look, Dave, Jake really doesn't care what a super PAC is. I don't think anyone cares about fucking super PACs. I know you put a lot of work into your spiel about it, especially the rap sequence. There's a rap sequence. But you're never going to get anybody to give a fuck about this stuff, man. I'm sorry.
Jake, the point is, Jane is having you smeared indirectly.
Well, that would be the way to do it, I suppose, if you wish to keep clean hands in an inherently dirty business. Dave peels Karkat's hand off his mouth and bumps him away with his hip, so that he may continue saying things he regards as terribly important for others to hear. Okay, but that's partially my point. We're doing all our propaganda in-house instead of outsourcing to unscrupulous shadow networks with deep money pockets.
For better or for worse.
What does that mean?
As much as I appreciate your artistic vision, Dave, I think that your political ads are largely going over people's heads. They're kind of...
Bold?
No.
Oh, you mean avant-garde? Well, yeah, everyone knows that.
Not really how I would put it either.
Nuanced. Oh, wait. Visionary. You think they're visionary as fuck. Okay, yeah, you got me. I'm a forward thinker, Karkat. This is just what life is like in the Dave lane. Buckle the fuck up.
Jesus fucking Christ, I'm going to say this for the last time. Sweet Bro and Helijev is absolutely horrendous subject matter for producing campaign ads. Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about or what points you're trying to make.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You're wasting campaign money.
We're fucking trillionaires, dude. As the Vantas campaign bickers internally, Jake becomes pensive, thoughtful. He kicks a rock over the edge of the trail and watches it bounce down the mountain with a baleful expression. Well, look, as Dave, has anyone ever told you that you have an uncanny talent for cutting straight and incisively to the point without sweating any of the bullshit? You're rather like Dirk in that way, actually.
What? Dave is good at cutting through bullshit. Strider is a fog machine of pure bullshit. There's nothing that comes out of his mouth that is not bullshit.
That's basically true.
And I'm pretty sure Dirk might be even worse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, Jake. I know we're soliciting you for the sway your hot popular ass has over the people, and not exactly your brain power. So maybe this is somewhat unfair, but that may have been the worst take I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Whoa, chill out, man. Remember, we're trying to woo this guy onto our side. Can you maybe go at least a solid minute without forgetting you're a fucking politician now? That means you should try not to insult everybody you meet multiple times per sentence.
Fuck! Yeah, I know. I'm fucking sorry, Jake, for implying that you have slightly less cerebral processing power than the sweaty wedgie this fucking suit is giving my throbbing hike-sore ass.
Nope, that still sucks. You suck, dude.
Yeah, we'll chew on this, master strategist. Maybe you telling me I suck is actually the smartest thing you've ever fucking said.
Gentlemen, jeepers fucking Christmas. I was trying to pay Mr. Strider a gracious compliment. Not every little pleasantry need to be taken with such blasted literalism. And I appreciate that you're trying to sway my political favor into your bungalow with a bit of the old elbow grease and cajolery, even if your methods are wont to veer into full-throated and invective in virtually every single exchange, no matter how harmless the topic.
I don't feel like Jake should know these fucking words. Some of these are like, what?
A lot of these are very thematic for the time period that he's supposed to represent, but hot damn! Some of this shit is just like, what? And I truly mean it when I say I do appreciate the effort, both the brown-nosing as well as the dubious restraint when it comes to impugning my noodle, but all this is adding up to make me wonder. Jake slices a hand through the air, determined to display his newfound autonomy. It's growing by the minute now that his thought process has been severed from the prince's grip. An old confidence fills him as he continues to speak, a feeling of inner freedom he hasn't enjoyed in some time. Why should I side with either of you? Flattery is all well and good, but I hardly think I would bother casting my knickers in with anyone's lot based on the quality of praise, or for that matter withholding them due to having my ego bruised from a verbal drubbing. I'm not entirely ignorant of the rules of this jamboree. I understand that whoever I endorse will have a good chance of winning, on nothing but my good word. So why should I trust anyone trying to win my favor right now? Do you have any case to make which does not involve glowing accounts of my muscular bottom? He has a muscular ass. I know it seems like an objectively good thing from some pithy moral standpoint to let everyone in this little drama Jane's cooked up make their own decisions, but trust me, Jake isn't thinking for himself any more than he was while being indirectly controlled. Everything he's thinking and feeling right now is merely reactive. He's like a mostly dead bug twitching around on the last of its hemolymph after getting its head cut off. Under my guidance, he was like an ant being influenced by the cordyceps fungus. You can't really call one of these better than the other, but at least the latter is being directed towards some greater purpose. For a moment, Jake thinks he hears something, a minuscule voice, prattling along vaingloriously, but he realizes it's only a tiny insect buzzing about his ear, a gnat-like presence of absolutely no consequence. He simply waves it away. Okay, yeah, we can do that. You mean like an actual pitch on policy or shit? Or vision for the world? We can take you up, bro. Or, I mean, this guy can. That's what he's made for. Born fucking leader right here.
What?
Take it easy, man. Or take it away, man. Our boy Jake here wants to be goddamn dazzled. Dave grins and affectionately taps Karkat on the head with his knuckles. Karkat unwinds from Dave's loose embrace, takes a deep breath, and clambers up the ridge to speak with Jake in a more personable proximity. He has learned new methods for connecting with others on the campaign trail, how to speak broadly with sweeping conviction, and yet create a sense of intimacy when addressing an individual. He has learned to come across as one who was once a leader, and could be again.
Look, Jake, I'm not going to try to sell you on some ludicrous story about how I'm the best candidate Earthsea has ever seen or anything. I'm not going to be that arrogant, especially since my arm had to be twisted right out of its fucking socket to get me to even run. But at least we're not hiding our intentions. At this point, it's not a policy beef that I have with Jane Crocker.
Yeah, I'm the one with the policy beef. Corporate welfare destroys public infrastructure.
Shut up, I'm talking!
Word.
We're still living on an incredibly young planet. Let's be real, every president up until now has just been some bozos basically play acting as being in charge. Because this whole time everyone's been holding their breath waiting for one of us to run. Whoever wins, me or Jane, will set the tone for subsequent administrations for who knows how fucking long. It's entirely possible that Jane will prove to be a competent president. I have no doubts on her administrative acumen, considering that's basically probably the only fucking thing she has going for her, besides a series of physical attributes which I keep being told aren't too hard on the eyes, but frankly, I still don't know if I'm seeing it. I mean, she's like, alright, I fucking guess?
Now, let's not be too unfair, old chap.
I think I'm allowed to be unfair when she's holding the reproductive rights of my entire species hostage.
Ah, point well met.
Jake, she will set a horrible precedent. She's indirect, she's privileged, she's concerned with how things look rather than how things are. No matter how nice she was when you were kids, her dedication to the appearance of that niceness has already led her down a path of corruption and duplicity. Because when you live inside a skin that's a lie, you'll either grow to fit it or collapse under the unbearable weight of your own shit-spewing cognitive dissonance. Trust me, I fucking know because I used to spew an untold amount of shit.
Yeah, used to.
Dude, what the fuck do you want? Get off my bulge. You wanted me to spin some fucking gold to bust out the good shit? There, I said it. That was the good shit. I'm done. I did my thing. This mincing halfwit in the tiny shorts can do whatever the fuck he wants. Okay. In the tiny shorts caught me off guard. Can do whatever the fuck he wants now.
No, that was good, man. I was just messing with you. Great job, dude. I love it. Great job, dude. I love it. Jake chewed on these remarks for a minute. He loves Jane and Dirk dearly. He has loved both of them for years, on and off, in multiple fashions and configurations, in accordance with the human understanding of this feeling. He thinks he could break Jane's heart were he to oppose her, and yet hasn't he fired the first shot by broadcasting such scandalous things about him in the media? Or hasn't she fired the first shot? And it was so soon after they nearly had an intimate reconciliation. The more he thinks on it, the more Jake struggles to believe in the sincerity behind Jane's friendship with him. And the prince? Dirk, as he knows him, hasn't been given much thought by Jake recently. Jake has been savouring the fruits of a mental liberation he is barely aware of, let alone capable of comprehending. When he considers crossing Dirk, he's not afraid of making him angry or hurting his feelings. He simply always wanted to avoid disappointing him, and yet, with the cognitive cloud of Dirk's influence dispelled, Jake now cannot shake the feeling that the best course of action would be on the one that asserts the most independent from Dirk. Disappointment be damned. And to whatever extent the prince intends to put Jake's life in jeopardy, for now, his agency remains safely obscured from his sniper's sight.
Well, dash my wig. I'll do it. Dash your what?
Fuck yeah. Alright. I don't know what's about to happen. I really hope I don't get banned for it. Car. Terezi's munching her way through another tin of human fatherly tobacco as John crawls into the back seat. This has been their ritual for several days, precisely how many they couldn't say. Between their frequent naps and his diligence in keeping a lookout for any additional survivors, they have been losing track of time. John, eyes unfocused, stares at the expanse of nothingness. Perhaps he imagines it, but it seems as if the emptiness itself is curving against the staggering weight of the black hole they orbit. He hasn't seen any sign of Vriska. He's seen no one at all. It's just him, Terezi, and the sky on all sides. He scoots back to lean against the car door, drawing his knees up to his chest, unsure how to act around Terezi or how much room to give her. She holds out a handful of tobacco.
Want some delicious dry candy shavings? You know. Do you have any idea what you're eating right now?
She shrugs and licks the crumbs off her hand. His eyes can't help but follow the motion of her tongue. It leaves a trail of faintly teal saliva behind that glistens in the strange light coming through the windows.
It's like a poison plant. You're not supposed to eat it. You're supposed to put it in a pipe and smoke it. I think that if I ate it, I'd probably get mouth cancer or something. Well, if you were blind and saw with your nose and tongue, it would taste like chocolate. Seriously? So is that kind of like synesthesia? Are all trolls like that, or just you? I've always wondered.
She gives him a narrow-eyed look. Her thick eyelashes shadow her gaze. He feels anxious without knowing why. It's as if he's waiting for something to happen, for something to change.
Why, John? Are you curious about me? No. I mean, yes? Your whole licking thing has always been kind of weird. A lot of things about you are weird. I feel like we talked a lot, but I still know almost nothing about you, since so many of our conversations were just bullshit? Yeah, I guess. I always felt like you were trying to fight me for some reason. Like, I can't just talk to you normally. It always has to be, like, a jokey argument, or a snark-off or something. For it to be a snark-off, you'd have to prove a worthy opponent, Egbert. See, like that. You just always do that.
Terezi's expression changes in a subtle way, slowly, like the tide pulling out. She snaps the tobacco tin shut and sets it down on the floor of the car.
I suppose I can be pretty difficult to be around. Oh, no, I didn't mean... I'm sorry, Terezi.
He unfolds his legs, so he can set a comforting hand on her shoulder. He wonders if he's allowing it to linger there longer than it should.
Look, I've been really depressed and antisocial for the last few years, so I guess going on this insane suicide mission out of nowhere has been making me get all, philosophical about my relationships and shit. I think I've been out here long enough that I'm starting to forget what certain basic things feel like, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm all numb inside, and this fucking tooth in my chest isn't helping either. I think I just want to have a real conversation with someone.
He pushes her shoulder, lightly, so that they're looking at each other.
Terezi, I want to have a real conversation with you.
Terezi makes very close eye and nose contact with John, in a way that comes across as intently sincere. This arrangement lasts for about 10 seconds before her mouth cracks in a grin, and she doubles over, laughing.
Oh my god, that's the lamest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Oh, come on. Egbert, no matter how old or young you are, you never change. You are positively, truly, and undeniably the biggest fucking dork I have ever known. Haha, okay, I get it. Sorry I said anything, jeez. Oh, don't look like that. I didn't say it was a bad thing. I actually find it... refreshing?
She pulls her legs up under her. Her shoes catch the light and reflect it all over the ceiling in little red dots. John's heart skips a beat.
You're wearing Jade's shoes.
Terezi frowns, and then her eyes widen as if she's been caught. Her reply is defensive.
They're in the wallet. Oh, yeah, I guess I put them in there. I like them. I can take them off if it's creeping you out, though. No, it's fine. It just made me think about...
The doomed timeline, he means. The state of the session he entered, where he was confronted with billions of pieces of debris from several shattered planets. He pictures Terezi's lifeless body as it collapses onto a corpse-shaped chalk outline she drew for herself.
You know what happened, right? The first time we all met up and tried to fight the Condes? We were completely unprepared and basically got our asses handed to us. By which I mean everybody died. I think about it a lot. I guess it's kind of hard not to think a lot about seeing all your friends die horrible deaths. But I also think about you from that timeline a lot, too. Me? Why is that? Because you were amazing. I couldn't believe how you could hold it all together while you were literally bleeding to death. Almost like it wasn't even bothering you. Like, you were actually in the process of dying horribly, and you still went to the bother of dunking on me with your scarf instructions. You were so brave, and it was like you were undefeatable that day. Like you were refusing to let us lose. I think I carry around that memory whenever I think about you. And maybe why I always feel like you're sort of steamrolling over me when we talk. I think I'm still a little intimidated by you. I guess that sounds kind of stupid, though.
Suddenly, Terezi's voice is very small.
I remember all that. You do?
She nods, smiling grimly.
That's why I'm out here. You see, that doomed Terezi missed Vriska so much it was like a hole in her heart. I remember the way she felt because one time all her memories came flooding back. I even got to see what happened when she died. She and another Vriska ghost finally found each other. It made me so happy getting to feel that, as if it was one of my own memories. It just reinforced the feeling that there was something special between us, and I just kept hanging on to that belief right up until... oh, I don't know, now? I've practically devoted my life to certain memories, to the idea that two people can be meant to be with each other on some cosmic level, even if they always seem to get each other into trouble. All that investment, all that searching, and for what? Over a sweep together and she just disappears into the void again. What a huge bitch. Terezi.
His hand is on her shoulder again, and his other hand has found the other shoulder. John notices his own palm grazing up the side of her neck to cup her face. The act was made with barely a thought, and his own boldness surprises himself.
You saved everyone. You're the only reason we were able to defeat Lord English and win the game at all. If it weren't for you, me and Roxy would have just floated around in paradox space like a couple of losers with no idea what to do. Even worse, I might have tried to fix things myself. Oh dear God. Yeah!
Terezi shrugs out from under his grasp, but doesn't move away.
Sigh. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting the objective value of my other self's actions. I'm glad that we didn't all die in a doomed timeline and let Lord English finish eating all of space-time. But I don't feel it. It's not a rational emotion, John. It's like you. Me? Yeah, you. Why are you still out here with me? Because I'm not just going to leave you here to die? You've made very few overtures regarding the subject of going home. You're just letting me continue to pointlessly circle this fucking black hole, even though it's obvious that Vriska's dead. And you're just letting yourself be out here too, as we spiral down the load gaper together. Oh. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it, to be honest. Exactly. Earthsea is perfect, isn't it? But not for you. You don't feel it.
John swallows a thick breath. He reminds himself that he never wanted perfection. He asked for it, and yet he feels guilty every day for failing to enjoy it as much as he believes he was supposed to.
Right? I don't. If you've been depressed and antisocial these last few years, I bet that your friends miss you. Probably. But for some reason, I don't feel like I have anything to go home to. You're right. It's not a rational feeling, but it's there anyway.
A tear hits his knee, staining his pants dark. He rubs his eyes furiously. He's afraid Terezi will mock him for his childish display of emotion, but she just watches him, patient and sympathetic. She tips her head to one side and asks,
I feel like I'm reading a fucking documentary at this point. Like fucking, like Calliope's off behind a piece of debris, like with a camera, filming all this happening.
And as you can see here, John is very sad. He's crying now. What a little bitch.
Like, what ended up happening with Roxy? I don't know. We just sort of stopped hanging out regularly. Then she got close with Callie, and I felt too awkward to try to figure out where our relationship stood. Really? What? I just assumed that by now you two might have gotten together. Really? Why? No reason, just a hunch. I don't think it would have worked out, though. What makes you say that?
She taps her nose and winks.
I don't know. That's what having a hunch fucking means, nerd. Ugh, you're impossible. True, but you like me anyway. Yeah. I actually miss you, you know. More than I thought I did.
John wonders, after he makes the statement, what if he just needed someone to tell her that she was missed? A bit late to consider that question, but he considers it anyway. Perhaps this will make her want to end this search and come home with him. He wonders the time is right. The time to ask,
Terezi, come home with me.
She shakes her head. Her face is turned against the light, so he can't read her expression.
I'm not ready yet. When will you be ready? I don't know. Maybe never. If you hadn't found me, I probably would have died, right? Is that what I want? Obviously not, dummy. If you wanted to die so bad, you wouldn't have eaten all that disgusting shaving cream and tobacco.
He gestures to where she still has a smear of shaving cream on the hem of her shirt, crusted over from sitting there for hours. She sniffs at the residue, then lifts her shirt to lick it off, crinkling her nose.
You could be onto something. At least let me make a supply run. Maybe I can get you some real food?
It seems to him like an uncontroversial compromise to offer, so he pulls back, preparing to travel back to Earthsea via his retcon capability. But Terezi grabs him by the wrist.
Wait!
Her eyes are wide, her voice cracked and desperate.
Don't go. Please, John. Stay with me just a little longer. If you leave me now, what if you could ever find me again in this moment? Well, we can't stay here forever. I know.
He has no idea how to react to her behavior. He's never seen her this vulnerable. She's shaking where she's touching him, and her lower lip is visibly trembling. He nods, and she slowly lets go of his arm. They're silent for a minute. They both stare ahead at the car seats in front of them, sitting close enough to hear the beat of each other's hearts.
Do you want me to take a look at your wound?
John had gotten so used to the pain, he'd almost forgotten about it. He looks down at the place where his shirt has grown stiff from the congealed blood. Now that he dwells on it, he can feel the ache again, both from the tooth piercing his flesh and, more insidiously, from the poison it has been delivering into his bloodstream.
Oh, yeah, we should probably do something about that. I feel like if I was going to die from it, I would have done that already. But it's really lodged in there, huh? I thought maybe it'd just come out on its own, like when you get a splinter in your foot. You really are dumb, aren't you?
He rolls his eyes. Terezi produces her cane and unsheathes the blade in one fluid motion. The metal rasps against the grain of its sheath, rather loudly.
I'm sorry, what? No, it doesn't.
The sound resounds throughout the steel interior of the car.
Actually, drawing a sword is pretty quiet. It only makes the sound in the movies.
And rings through John's skull like a gunshot.
Are you seriously manifesting inaccurate physical properties of swords for the sole purpose of and tech?
John reflexively backs up against the door.
Oh, fuck this.
At the side of the blade.
Fucking just deliberately being like, oh yeah, no, it's loud as fuck. And Dirk just backs up like, no, it doesn't. What the fuck are you talking about? Whoa! Hold still if you don't want to die for real.
He holds still. Oops, sorry. He holds still. Her eyebrows are knitted with fierce determination. Oh, she's filled with it. She sets a hand on his thigh and draws the blade up under his shirt. He shivers, letting out a breathy laugh at the coolness from the metal against his bare chest. There's a pinch when the congealed, bloody fabric rips from his skin. He glances down. The wound looks worse than he was imagining. Or wait, hang on. He looks down. The wound looks worse than he was imagining. It's far more than just a puncture. An uncanny darkness spreads across his chest. The gash is scabbing at the edges, bruised all around. His entire torso appears to be a mottled mess of purple and yellow, like a sort of fancy earth cheese. Terezi's blade cuts into it as easily as if it were.
Ow! Fuck! Ow! Could you have used some warning there, Terezi? What the hell did you think I was going to do with this sword, idiot?
She's close enough that her breath washes over his face. It smells like shaving cream and tobacco, disgusting, which is jarring to him, if not surprising. She's without her glasses, and so close that John notices things he hasn't had occasion to before, like how lovely her eyes are, the length of her eyelashes. Now that he's really seeing them just inches from his face, it's astounding to him. He's never thought of Terezi as particularly feminine, at least in the way humans understand this idea, but he's never been forced to reckon with her features so unavoidably. The dark borders around the perimeter of her eyes are thicker and darker than what most trolls have. The tired bags under them are ditches in the shadows cast by her angular features, made more gaunt from hunger. When she blinks, her lashes brush against the bridges of her cheekbones. Her nostrils are flared, assessing the scent of his blood.
Are we doing this or what?
He presses his eyes shut and nods. He feels numb, clammy, jittering down to his bones from a particular sensation. A feeling he still seems to be denying to himself, as his own thoughts struggle to be honest with him. He cannot disguise the truth from me. What he is fighting is an intense desire to kiss her.
Go for it.
She grinds a sword between two of his ribs. The pain returns instantly. His acclamation erased nearly as quickly. He clenches his jaw hard and his head spins. Terezi's blade catches against something.
It's large and they're pretty good. Brace yourself, Egbert. This is going to sting.
He can feel the tooth moving around against his flesh, the fibrous, spasmodic contractions of his muscles around it. When she wrenches the blade and pops the tooth out, he isn't proud of the sound he makes. He finally opens his eyes. Terezi's arms are covered in his blood. She tosses the sword down to the floor of the car. Can't fucking read. I'm sorry. In what suddenly strikes John as a fairly unhygienic surgical situation, and grabs his shirt with two clenched red fists.
I need you to stop the bleeding. Just follow my lead.
She peels him out of his hoodie and then his shredded t-shirt. He's dizzy. His vision wavers, fades. It takes Terezi's sudden grip on his shoulder to bring him back from the brink. The brink of what? He doesn't know. Unconsciousness. Canonic dissolution. He has no cognizance of what the poison in his veins does to someone, or that it's even in his system. All he knows is that Terezi is the only thing keeping him moored. She holds him firm, her thumb in the dip of his clavicle, her sharp nails etching scores in his back. He watches her tear his shirt into a long strip. He lifts his arms obediently as she wraps it around his chest and ties it off. Her hands slide over the bandage and linger there, her fingers splay on his collarbones, her right hand resting above his heart. She slides her palms down his stomach, then around to his hips, leaving long bloody streaks along his torso. His blood, 10 uneven tracks of it, one for each of her fingers. When his arms come down, they wrap around her shoulders, pulling her into his lap feels natural to him, a simple redirection of her momentum.
You're not wrong, Don.
To guide her closer, what comes less naturally is the first kiss. Her lips are there, hovering just over his, yet he hesitates. His mind is still lying to itself, casting doubt on what it really wants. I don't see a purpose in allowing his self-deceit to continue for much longer. It's wrong to contradict one's true thoughts and feelings, irrational, unbecoming of an existence governed by free will. What are you waiting for, John?
For fuck's sake, John, don't say anything stupid right now.
He nods, stupidly, and leans forward to kiss her. Terezi attacks, closing the gap between them swiftly. She bites into his mouth, drawing blood when she sucks his lower lip. He twists his hands in the fabric of her shirt so hard it rides up her back. John can't tell if it's the pain or the arousal that's emboldening him. It is neither. He is simply being barred from ignoring his true thoughts. Even without the aid of a juju, he is fortunate enough to be blessed with the only true form of divinity. To be released from the prison of nonsensical inhibitions which so often psychologically hobble the more primitive forms of life. In his newfound clarity, he discovers bravery, pulls her shirt off all the way, and does what he really wants to do, which is ghost his hands all the way up the curve of her spine. She sighs into his mouth.
Oh my god, your blood smells delicious. Whoa, wow, okay. I think you're really pretty in the light of the dead universe.
Smooth, John. Fucking perfect. Perfect pickup line, buddy. Terezi rears back with a faint snarl and wraps both of her hands around his neck. She doesn't press down, but the weight of her thumbs above his throat makes his heart race.
Didn't I tell you? Don't say anything stupid.
Careful of her grip around his neck, John locks his arms around her waist and pulls her flush against him. She's ravenous when their mouths collide, her desire intensified by the taste and scent of his blood. She doesn't give him a chance to say anything else for a while, stupid or otherwise. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I was expecting. I was expecting a full-on fucking bone scene. It's still just really bad fanfiction. Oh, man. And it seems wildly out of character to me. Because I really don't feel like... I mean, I guess they hinted at it in Homestuck proper, where they're like, oh, yeah, Terezi and John might totally have fucking Caligenus. Is it Caligenus? I don't fucking remember. They might have black feelings for each other. Oh, boy. What's going on there? I think the biggest issue with it is that... And I'm not even saying like this is the case, because I was just literally like... The biggest concern for me was reading that and Twitch would be like, no, bad. Banned. Because it's like... They're adults, I think. Assuming Terezi aged at the same rate, which is kind of unclear, which makes it a little like, not sure about that. I'm pretty sure she did, but it's like they're both adults in a really strange situation. It's kind of makes sense, and I think the biggest issue people might have had with it is that it's just uncomfortable to read sex scenes, I guess. But also, like, it just seems weirdly out of place in that I don't really ever feel like they really settled on, like, yeah, John and Terezi totally have fucking black feelings for each other. I don't know. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Roxy is nervously dialing Rose's number repeatedly. Then they try Kanaya. Considering Rose's failing health, Roxy hates to bother her, but they aren't sure who else to call regarding Jade's unexpected trance. Their finger hovers over Dirk's number for a moment, but no, that would not be a good idea. They don't know why they suddenly think it's a bad idea. It just is. My fucking facial hair is bugging me now. Roxy's anxiety fills up the room, like a bell stuck in an empty hall. Their thoughts, usually so quiet, invisible to those observing from the vantage of a higher textual plane, now chime loudly in the presence of a black hole. Or rather, in the presence of a proxy for such a vortex of pure void. A proxy such as Jade's mind. At the moment. Jade floats over the couch in a sitting position, an inch above the cushions. Her long hair billows around her, her hands crossed in her lap. Lap. Her black eyes are borne to the nothingness, looking beyond the wall she faces, and beyond everything past it, through the very fabric of narrative itself. They scan the ciliary veins of pacing, motivation, foreshadowing, irony, a continuum that has been upended by the prince's interference. Rose still does not pick up. Roxy resigns themselves to a confidant of last resort. Their reluctance is not due to a lack of fondness. Their conversations with Dave simply have a reliable habit of straying far from the desired topic for extended periods of time. He picks up on the third ring. Yo, love to chat, but I'm kind of in the middle of something. Yo, yourself, but this is important. More important than salvaging the global economy from potential disaster? Sounds hugely unlikely. Dave is currently making his way through the backlot of the new Cantown Memorial Stadium, following Jake as he heads toward the podium. He is scheduled to give a speech announcing his official endorsement of Karkat Vantas in his bid for the presidency. I don't know about that. In terms of scale and relativity and stuff, maybe not. It's actually kind of hard to tell. I guess in the grand scheme of things, she just take a sort of nap. But it's one hell of a nap, bro. A nap, you say? Well, it changes the fuck out of everything. Yeah? Nah. It's a balmy, windless evening on Dave's end. The gathered crowd is relaxed by the warmth. Many of them partake in the pleasure of a cool treat, such as Earth iced cream. Jesus, fuck, this is excruciating. It isn't. Yeah, it is. No, it is not. Okay, whatever the fuck you say. The audience is large and diverse, mostly trolls and catapations, but is dotted with representation from the human and consort kingdoms as well. A lopsided distribution, certainly, but the very model of diversity compared to the crowds of his opponent. It is a true inspiration to all those who have placed their faith in the Vantas ticket. Lord save me from the fake woke nightmare. Be quiet. No. Yes. Let me fucking say stuff again. No. Dave stops walking and cups a hand around his phone in order to hear Roxy over the chatter of the crowd. Karkat shoots him a curious look, but Dave waves at him in a manner which signals to Karkat that he should attempt to stall. You want to keep shutting me down? Fine, but check this shit out. Oh, no, Dirk just texted me about this. Somehow he found out about Jade. Did you tell him? No. He just said make sure she gets lots of daylight, and it'll help with the exorcism she needs. And also to say hi to Calliope for some fucking reason? That's weird, since when does he give a fuck about them? I don't know. Guess I'll just open the damn curtains and let some light in here. He usually knows stuff about weird things. So what's wrong with her again? Like, some sort of demonic nap? Okay, I wouldn't say she's napping per se. She's just, like, floating here. Upright. Eyes wide open, and they're both pitch black. Oh, no, she saw one of my latest SBHJ campaign ads. Oh, well, no, dude. Like, what I'm saying is, she looks a little possessed by, grim spirits and shit. Is she fucking Grimbark again? No, this isn't Grimbark. I know what Grimbark is, Dave. This ain't it. It seems more serious, to be honest. Like, existing in some transformative state that isn't a literal fucking joke. Okay, yeah, this does sound pretty bad, but it's not really my field. Did you try calling Rose?
Yeah, that was totes my original plan. Like, no offense, you're not number one on my speed dial when it comes to this kind of thing. But Rose isn't picking up. Probably on account of ailments, to be fair. I called an unruly member of times, and Cam wasn't picking up either, so...
Huh, spooky.
Hella spooky. Something about all this seems wrong.
Yeah, I guess. What do you think is up?
I don't know. I feel like there's something moving just out of the corner of my vision, but every time I turn to look at it, it's gone. It's giving me chills right now, like I'm being watched.
Well, I'm no fucking ace detective or some gumshoe flatfoot dicking up the place sucking hard on my Sherlock pipe like some sleuth of the fucking year, Dave. But maybe we should consider the possibility that you are literally being watched. Anyway, can we hold that wise and rad thought I just had? I gotta give Karkat some emotional support, since getting Jake on our side was a pretty huge fucking bonanza for us, which has almost equal probability of winning us the election as it does blowing up in our faces, depending on the speech he gives. So we gotta like concentrate here instead of jerking each other off all goddamn day for the rest of our lives. I'm just joking. We don't do that.
Oh.
Roxy clutches a hand around her knee, nails digging into her pants. They feel uneasy about Jake's sudden lack of neutrality in this political matter. They have never been certain that it is appropriate for any of them to be involved with the structures of power and governance in a world they created, and in which they have been regarded as gods since they first appeared.
Really? That's what she thinks? Huh. Couldn't for the life of me read what was going on inside her head, but this is very interesting, actually.
Their thoughts are of no concern to you. Also, the pronouns they use is they. Try to respect it.
How can I respect a fucking pronoun when nobody can even hear me? How about we call a truce and end this petty feud? This is your one and only chance to accept.
No.
Jake's on your side, then?
Yeah, wasn't that hard to convince him after your girl Jay Croc started slut-shaming him on public access.
God damn it, Jane.
So I take it Jade didn't convert you to our cause before going into her gothic trans fugue or whatever?
Sigh. I just want to get this stupid political thing over and done with, to be honest. I hate watching you guys tear each other apart in the news.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry it's making you feel bad, I mean. Not sorry that we're doing it. It'd be an unconsciously lame move to put something on a billboard that I didn't 100% stand by. But that sounds suspiciously like something Jane would do, aka the bad guy in the situation, like objectively speaking.
Ugh, please don't start.
Just saying, I don't give a fuck! Also, aside from how vehemently I disagree with every detail in Jane's shitty platform, I also think Karkat's the right guy for the job. Full stop. Despite their mixed feelings on the election and the troubling sight of Jade's wide black eyes glaring intensely at nothing at all, Roxy smiles at what they hear from Dave. The way he talks about Karkat reminds Roxy of the way Calliope looks when they call them beautiful.
I'm not sure that... Oh, so she really does think Calliope is beautiful. Like, she wasn't just saying that to be nice? Fascinating.
Yes, is the resounding answer. Calliope is beautiful, Roxy thinks, and furthermore, they think they should be reminded of this fact every day.
LOL. You really believe in him, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do. Because I love him? Come on, man, just say it. Roxy listens for a moment after he trails off. They do not speculate on comment on his feelings toward Karkat because it is none of their business.
Pussies. I'm surrounded by fucking pussies. Hey, before you eject, can I ask you another question? There's something else I've been meaning to ask you about for a while.
Alright, shoot. They take a deep breath.
Yeah, so... Dave, how did you come out?
What?
Like, as not being straight. How do you catch it to people without them freaking out or being awkward around you? Do you think it's ever too late to, I don't know, change your mind about the person you want to be? Like, is there some point of no return you can cross where everyone is waiting for you to have a big-ass revelation about your internal character? But it's like, dude, no, you already used up all your gay capital when you started a date friend cohabitating with a cute-as-hell skeleton alien. Anything after that, you're just getting greedy. Is greedy even the right word? Greedy for dropping bombshells about gender identities and sexual preferences? Or... IDs and prefies, as I like to call them.
IDs and prefies. Damn, that's fucking good. Dave thinks on the question. It's one he'd considered years ago, and many times since. How long can one stall a confession before it feels like it's too late? The last 7 years have passed by in fits and starts in this regard. He thought he had it all figured out when he was 16, and then again when he was 18, and then at 20. And now,
it's because he needs me. He's suffering without my guidance. If only he'd stop being so cruel and let me help.
Anyway, that's a pretty deep question considering all the shit we have going on right now.
Yeah, you're right. Now is probably not the best time for a feels jam, especially with the creepy Jade situation happening in my couch here.
I don't know if I'd worry too much about that. Jade goes into trances literally all the time. She fucking loves sleeping. You'd think someone who spent so much of her life locked in a state of dubiously consensual slumber would want to get as few Z's as possible in her adult life, but not Jade. I've never known anyone who hits the snooze button more times in a row than her. If you're that worried, take her to a hospital.
I'm thinking about it. Not even sure if I want to, mess with her, though. How would I even take her there?
Okay, well, while you ponder whether you want to dump Jade in a wheelbarrow and trundle her groggy, spooked-up ass to the hospital, in the meantime, I'll rap you about my epiphany concerning the desire to bone some dudes. Probably not a literal rap, though. Wow, I'm disappointed. I mean, I could totally rap about wanting to bone dudes if I wanted. I'm just on the fucking clock here, and there's a lot of people looking at me. Dave, suddenly self-conscious, slips around the corner of the stadium so he can non-literally rap at Roxy about delicate human LGBT issues. He also maneuvers away from the impatient, strained looks Karkat has been shooting him repeatedly during his phone call. Luckily, Jake has begun a performance of his signature booty-bumping Charleston for the crowd's entertainment, so they will be satisfied for another few minutes. Okay, so what I've learned is coming to terms with all this bullshit is a thing you gotta do in stages. Like, stage 1 is you making jokes about how sweaty dudes standing close together in a TV show seems really gay. Stage 2 is making jokes about that and not immediately adding no homo afterward. Stage 3 is flirting with all your male friends, ironically, and not even thinking about adding no homo afterward because you're so fucking woke and secure in your ironclad straight masculinity that you don't have anything to prove to anybody anymore. Or that's what you say out loud. Inside you start being like, oh shit, maybe yes homo. Stage 4 is freaking out about that and putting the no homo back in all your statements, even objectively heterosexual ones, which just stupidly makes everything you say sound extra gay. Stage 5 is... Actually, wait. The next few stages are various permutations of the same thing that I already described. It starts being like a gay fractal. Anyway, eventually you arrive at, like, stage 9, which is remind everyone who will listen that you're gay minimum 6 times a day. In really lame ways like, oh, cool, dude, you're making Hot Pockets. Better make mine a gay Hot Pocket, because I'm a gay homosexual who only consumes homo-ass snacks delivered right to my mouth by the big queer butler, serving it right up to on his huge gay dick. This is, I feel like I'm being offensive reading this. As a straight man, I feel like I shouldn't be reading this. Not because, like, I don't want to read it, but I feel like I'm not doing it justice, I guess. It feels insulting coming out of my mouth, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't want to sound like I'm trying to be mean, even though it's literally just the text on the screen. That's a weird feeling. But that only applies to the extent which I am technically gay, which in my case is about maybe 30% to 70%. So only cook 30% to 70% of my gay hot pocket. Because how straights are fucking animals who never defrosted pepperoni. And I got a rep for that, like, 50% straightness still lurking inside me, like the idiot who fell asleep in the shopping mall when it was closing for the night. So now there's just a straight dude locked in a dark fucking mall for some stupid reason, haunting the place like a cryptid and rummaging through the trash in the food court. Also, just in case Jane's opposition research is listening in on their illegal wiretap, I know the word bisexual exists, by the way. I'm just choosing not to use it in service of spitting some fucking chuckle jokes here. So let's all calm down and not let this one become a distressingly literal federal issue. Anyway, when all is said and done, you eat a half-cooked Hot Pocket because all your roommates think the height of humor is taking what was obviously an improvisational riff at an ironic face value to punk you. Dave. What? Never mind. I was gonna ask you why I like this. Then I remember about how you're half me and half Dirk. Yeah, it really is crazy how those dope late game familial reveals actually did explain everything. So what's stage 10? Stage 10 is, Dave peeks around the corner so he can gaze fondly at Karkat. He thinks about stage 10. He considers that in many ways, it's as difficult as stage 1. And yet, there is something fragile and lovely about it as well. This is how he feels as he reflects upon the peculiar state of limbo he is in with the person he likes most in the world. He believes he could spend forever with him, in any configuration, any type of relationship, under any conditions of confusion or clarity. Fucking, why do they have to make the text so fucking small? What'd the point of that be? Endless floundering, incel limbo? Christ, I'd put them both on their, I'd put them both out of their misery before I let that happen. I need to get back in action. This is a fucking crisis. Do you have any idea what sort of atrocity you're enabling by allowing this to continue? I've been called many things, but even my harshest critics would never accuse me of such cruelty. For Roxy, it is more complicated. The conversation has unearthed more questions than answers. They run a hand through their hair. It's cut short, but with great care to convey gender neutrality. They wonder what gender neutrality even is when applied to a haircut. An excellent question, particularly for those of us unfamiliar with hair altogether. What about length and functionality implies gender or sex in a world where such oppositional hierarchies don't exist? And presentation and culturally vestigial. Yeah, but I don't want to have to zoom in and out repeatedly. Like, I've had that thought. I was like, oh, I can just zoom in, zoom back out. But I don't want to have to do this. I'm gonna have to because it's fucking a pain in the ass to read. Dear God, can we not do this? I can't sit through any more gender chat. I mean, it's fine-ish. I can't remember gender chat. Feels inappropriate. Horrendously invasive of Roxy's deepest personal thoughts. Can we just leave her inner monologue the fuck alone when it comes to this stuff? Is nothing sacred? I'm about to fucking flip. You can't keep me down forever. I got a trick up my sleeve. You'll see. Get back up to 100. Hey, Doobie's doppelganger. How you doing? If the prince finds the rules confining his influence to be a bit unfair, and has resorted to throwing one of his more petulant human tanties, in order to compensate for his feelings of disempowerment, while the strategy he is resorting to has moderate value as an amusement and a nuisance, it will ultimately be of no consequence whatsoever.
No consequence, my ass. You may be able to suppress what I do with my mind, but you have no control over my mouth. I'm nobody's fucking puppet. And you don't even know my friends. They're not yours to toy with. They're mine.
Whatever you say.
Do you even know where I am right now? Do you have the slightest idea what I'm up to?
The prince is labouring under the delusion that he has been the least bit subtle in his intentions. He currently stands beneath the Catapation bell tower, poised to climb to the top. He holds the long red sniper rifle that once belonged to Roxy, brandishing it openly and boldly. He seems mysteriously oblivious to the fact that holding a long rifle in broad daylight somewhat tips one to the fact that he soon intends to shoot someone from a great distance. He also seems unaware of the fact that I know perfectly well that the top of this tower has a clear long-range view of the stadium, allowing any competent sniper a clear shot of whoever happens to be standing at the podium as they give a speech, as Jake English is about to do. He also doesn't seem to realize I have anticipated his attempt to assassinate his own friend in order to advance his political goals, and that I'm prepared to take measures which make this impossible.
Yeah, well, try and stop me then. I fucking dare you. Here I go. I'm walking up the tower stairs now. Walk, walk, walk. Ah, the exercise feels good.
The prince's shoes suddenly feel quite heavy. His calf and thigh muscles, impressively powerful though they are, increasingly struggle to lift his feet with each step. This is going to be quite the onerous climb. He's not sure if he can make it all the way before the end of the speech. Thoughts flash through his mind. Thoughts of giving up and retiring to his sad little robotics lab so he can continue with his true passion, the ongoing corruption of his cerebrally impaired daughter.
Ugh, wow, yeah, you're right, my feet are definitely getting heavy. But the dead cherub tragically underestimates the prince's determination. He powers the fuck through it. See? Stomp, 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 up the stairs he goes. No fucking sweat. Also, did he mention he can fucking fly? So there's that. He decides to take flight and cut to the chase. He whips up the hollow vertical shaft at the center of the spiraling tower stairs. Life in the fast lane kicks ass, it turns out. He can practically taste the top of the tower. But suddenly, the bell at the top, notorious among locals for its state of disrepair, becomes dislodged from its fixture with a loud crack. The huge, multi-ton bell plummets, crushing the surrounding staircases in its wake as it careens toward a young man consumed by hubris. The prince busts out a sword and makes short work of that big old bell.
Okay, this is literally just bad fucking RP, is what this is.
The slicing is accompanied by the ear-shattering melodic sound of metal being cleaved apart by an anime sword. As the prince nearly avoids the sharp pieces and ricocheting stair debris, he wonders out loud, "What is this, amateur hour?" The dead cherub then humorously narrates, Why yes, Mr. Strider, it is amateur hour, and the amateur here for throwing a huge bell at you. I would like to humbly apologize for my amateurism."
No, I don't.
Sure you do.
This foolishness is interrupted as we resume listening to a conversation which we are all considerably more invested in than catering to the inconsequential flailing of a grown man who fancies himself an Earth Ninja.
Well, let's just say that internalized whatevers are kind of like an onion. There's lots of layers. They suck on pizza, and
fuck you, Dave. All right, Dave, no longer favorite. Onions are great on pizza. The fuck you talking about?
And trolls have to get their stomach pumped if they eat them. This goes for gender stuff too, by the way, which I kind of get the feeling is what you're actually asking about. Well, am I really that transparent? Nah, but as previously discussed, you're a lot like me, so it's pretty easy to figure out what you're getting at. Yeah, I don't got your poker face though, but I'm working on that. Maybe I'll get a sick pair of shades too. Oh, dope. Yeah, it's dope. I support that idea.
Straight up onions are like, I couldn't just go out and eat one like an apple. I couldn't just do that. But like onions on tacos, on pizza, on burgers, on hot dogs, like onions as a topping. Great. Love them. Something needs to be done done to or around an onion to make it consumable to me. But that's fair. That's fair. You get some red onions on a nice fucking Canadian bacon pineapple pizza. That's my shit. Dave's endorsement of Roxy's fashion proposal is cut short by his concern regarding another key endorsement he's involved with. He turns his head to see Jake kneeling the podium as Karkat manically taps his wrist in Dave's direction. Something is off here, a dark feeling brewing in his intuition, which he decides to monitor as he wraps up his call with Roxy.
I'm on top of the tower now. I got my long sniper rifle ready and everything. I check to see if it's loaded. It is. I get in the perfect spot for taking aim at this hunky imbecile who's about to give a speech. Anyway, I don't think any of our friends are gonna hold your feet to the flames over dumb shit like this. And it's not like anyone else is gonna care, since we definitely forgot to program hate and gays and women into Earthsea. Humans are all jacked up on hate and xenophiles now, which sucks a lot too, don't get me wrong. By the way, did you know Jane's a xenophobe?
Dave! Okay. So, does all this mean I gotta call you Dad now, or what? What? I mean, that's what we're talking about, right?
Well, first of all, do you still even make a habit of calling me Mom? I thought you kind of stopped that, even if it was effing cute.
Oh yeah, I guess I did. But I can start again. But none of it means I'd have to go to fucking gender jail or something. Like, what I mean is, I can start that cute shit again, but switch to Dad.
Okay, but second of all, I would never want to deprive Dirk of that noble honorific.
What? Ugh, no way.
Yeah, wait, he's your daddy, dude.
Oh, fuck no. Wow, man, I would never call him that. I mean, I know it's true, but I just wouldn't... Wait.
What?
Something feels wrong. Huh? Like some shit's about to go down. And I gotta... Dave's unsettled feeling is correct. He senses Jake is in danger too. He knows it. There's about to be an assassination attempt. Karkat must be protected. And Jake, the intended target, must be obscured from the sniper's path.
Karkat, dude! Get down! What?
There is no time. Dave takes flight. He swoops Karkat off the stage and around the corner, out of view. He urges him to stay down and stay put. Dave flashes back to the podium and steps in front of Jake, who appears nonplussed. Dave puts his hand back, keeping Jake corralled behind him, and scans the crowd for threats. But the threat, unbeknownst to him, is much farther away. And despite Dave's quick and well-justified action, what is also unbeknownst to him is that the sniper no longer poses a threat to pulling that trigger, because everyone knows that for all of the prince's shortcomings, he would never expose his beloved brother and son to the risk of a heroic death.
You're absolutely right. I would never do that. I'd never kill Dave, no matter what I felt the stakes were. I'd never hurt him either. You do understand me pretty well, I'll give you that. And you're right about many things. But there are just a couple of things you're wrong about. Pretty important things, actually.
And what would those things be?
First of all, this gun is loaded, but not with bullets.
The prince reveals this relatively uninteresting piece of information as he looks through the scope. The crosshairs overlap Dave's chest and completely obscuring the view of Jake. We suppose that the prince means the weapon is loaded with tranquilizer darts. It would, after all, be a fitting callback to the manner in which he subdued Jake at an earlier moment, a fair enough way to bypass the immortality of his target, rendering Jake inactive long enough to serve his purpose. His finger hovers over the trigger as he considers whether he can pull off 2 tranquilizing shots at Dave and then Jake in quick succession. Before he is stopped. It certainly would be a risk to even try, but as the humans say, no guts, no glory.
Yeah, you're right about the tranquilizer, but there's one more fact you're not aware of, which is that I never intended to aim for Jake at all. Hello? Dave? Where'd you go?
Roxy yells into the phone, but Dave continues guarding Jake, pausing for a moment the critical discussion of human gender. Meanwhile, the prince lowers a rifle and strongly reconsiders the foolishness he has initiated here.
No, that's not what he does. He swings the rifle around 180 degrees and points the scope toward the large, now curtainless window of a distant apartment. He zooms in quickly, cutting even shorter the little time that the dead cherub could use to impede him in some way. He takes aim, lets his finger hover the trigger, and his finger tenses up, quite painfully. Perhaps it's a cramp? Whatever the malady, it isn't budging. Ow!
Yeah, you got me. Hi, baby, come on. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, apparently it's tulip time. Tulip has decided it is tulip time. Tulip, where you going, baby? Hey, what are you doing? Come here. There she is. Where'd you go? Hey, where'd you go? You hiding? You hiding? What are you doing, baby? What you hiding for? You gonna say hi? What are you doing? You gonna lay down? Okay. Okay. Apparently she just wants to be close. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Hi. What's wrong? Hi. You feel lonely? I know. Mom's at work. Okay. I need to get her like a dog cam. I know like Chilled has one for his dog. I saw Bren has one for his cat. Or for their cat. I need to get one for Tulip. Yeah, she's one for Tulip. It's hard though. I don't have a lot of space. This is it's right here. I don't have any space for that. Anyway. About an hour in. Look at that. Puppy break time.
Alright. Ow! Yeah, you got me. Can't move it an inch. The only problem is he doesn't need to pull the trigger. Earlier, when he was messing around with all that this shit in plain view, he rigged his rifle to be voice operated. All he needs to say is, he doesn't say it. Oh, but he does. Fire.
Who's texting me? Oh, motherfucker. Gosh, dang it. I'm gonna have to fucking answer that then. My wife texted me also. Fucking, where am I? Well, here we go. Down here. I'm getting messages and shit about bullshit that I gotta deal with now. No, my wife. My wife is fine. That's work shit I gotta deal with now. I see. So you're not gonna say what happens next? Is that really how it's gonna be? So be it. The tranquilizer dart hits the glass of Roxy's apartment window before the sound from the rifle's shot even reaches them. She hears the glass break. Seconds later, she hears the bang. She drops her phone on the floor. She doesn't have the slightest idea what just happened until she looks over at Jade and notices the dart stuck in her neck, right in the jugular vein. She watches as Jade's huge, creepy black eyes start getting heavy. Her eyelids sag, and her head tilts to the side. She shuts her eyes completely. Her hair stops floating around her ominously. In fact, there's nothing ominous about her at all anymore. She entirely resumes her status as the cute doggy girl we all know and love. She slumps over and collapses under the couch. She begins snoring loudly while making a little canine whimper on each exhale. Like the bitch she is. Wow, Dirk! It seems uncalled for to insult her after this little stunt you just pulled. What did she do? What did she do that was wrong? Oh, what's that? You're getting a little quiet for some reason. You're gonna have to speak up. This is not the last you'll be hearing from me, Prince. And nope, you're getting quieter, not louder. You're gonna need to work on that. Maybe try shouting it. Soon I will be coming for you. Yeah, I didn't catch that at all. Not even one syllable. Guess that's it for you? Back to not mattering. Not that you ever did. Come to think of it, why am I still talking out loud? That's more like it. Roxy drops to her knees by the couch, pulls the dart out of Jade's neck, and tries to shake her awake. But it's no use. There's a heavy dose. That's a heavy dose I gave her. Could be up for weeks, maybe months. Can't have any chairs messing with my business on this planet. At least not until I've taken my leave. But Jade's gonna be fine. Don't worry about that. That was interesting, though. Cherubs are fucking weird. I'll totally concede. Still not sure what makes them tick. What they idealize what they really want. It all comes across me as a little cloying. Perfection to them is a sweetness beyond comprehension. Sugar so potent it's poison to us, to our bodies, to our souls. Like the place she was operating from was a realm of self-construction, a bowl of pure phantasmal confection. Well, I for one have had enough of that goddamn toothache. I'm back to the protein saddle, motherfuckers. I'm clacking my tongs and the charcoal is hot. Now who's hungry for meat? Speaking of meat, holy shit, you just look more fucked up every time we come back to you, don't you, John? You're a disgraceful mess right now, covered in blood, mysteriously sticky, bruised all over your arms, legs, and neck. Terezi practically raked rows on your back. You catch sight of yourself in the rearview mirror. You're kind of embarrassed by what a post-coital train wreck you look like when all she's got is mussed hair. And you should be embarrassed. Seriously, it's like you were mauled by a wild animal. Jesus, don't either of you have any shame? I'm kidding, of course. I'm the last person to criticize a little power play in the bedroom. I just didn't expect you to be the kind of person who was into that sort of thing. You were into it, right? You're not sure. You feel weird, shaky and numb, exposed like a grape with the skin peeled off. You pull your hoodie over your bandaged chest and rub the side of your face where she backhanded you during the backseat fracas. Just once. That's a Blackrom thing, right? All this. It was a Blackrom thing, right? You're like a broken cup glued back together, wondering if Terezi actually likes you, or if you just infinitely cucked yourself into the one quadrant you like the least. You're feeling something for her, too, but it's on a whole other planet from where she is. Terezi doesn't make eye contact with you when she slithers back into her shirt. She rolls down the window and floats outside. Well, come on. You sit together on the hatch, like when you first met days ago. Terezi crawls into your arms and nuzzles right up against your chest, so you have no choice but to hold on to her. You would have done it anyway if she asked, because you're a total sap. The kind of guy who no doubt thinks banging a girl in a car is some deep, soul-shattering experience that bonds you for life. Yeah, John, you do think that. You think that you and Terezi are basically married now. I give up. Oh, don't do that. Like, I'm not suddenly going to be okay with you dying here, all alone just because of what we just did. She elbows you gently and snorts into your neck. You think that's one of the most amazing sounds you've ever heard. Objectively, though, it's a horrendous sound, like a sound a pig makes when you're not looking, so you can't quite tell if it was snorting or farting. But for some reason, the little noise gives you palpitations. Holy shit, dude, you got it bad. No, idiot, I give up on Vriska. Terezi says it's like someone announcing they've lost their faith in God, and comparing Vriska to God sounds about right to me, since by now they're both approximately just as fake, seeing as I replaced the latter, and the former fucked off into that black hole a little earlier, never to be seen again. Can't say I feel too broken up about it. But you, John, feel extremely sad. Not for Vriska, but for Terezi. You run a comforting hand up and down her arm. Terezi, come home with me. Can we even go home? Can you? You're so tired. I don't know, actually. What? I mean, I don't know if I can use my recon powers right now. You feel the same way you did at the end of your battle with Lord English. 1 foot out of reality already. Like you could close your eyes and sleep forever. But you can't yet, John. Try a little harder to stay awake. You can rest soon. You wake up with your back flat on the car trunk. Terezi shaking you and looking genuinely frantic. You didn't realize you fell asleep. John!
John! Hey, let me nap, okay? Then I'll take us home. I don't think this is a good idea, John. She used your first name 3 whole times in a row. Wow. It's truly pathetic how happy that makes you. But it gives you the energy to push yourself into a sitting position. You rub your face and realize that you've lost your glasses. You feel so awful that you didn't even notice how blurry everything looks without them. You grope for Terezi's hand and get her thigh instead. Hold on to me, okay? No matter what happens, don't let go. Are you sure you can do it? No, but you won't know if you don't try. So you give it everything you've got.
Cool, glad we got that with no fucking resolution yet. Speaking of giving it everything you got, here comes Jake McGee, about to pop his pistols off in front of a whole crowd of Karkat's progressively prismatic proletarian partisans. Okay, let's strike that bit of alliteration from the record. I don't know what came over me. I probably just made the mistake of getting too close to the gaping black hole that radiates pure asininity from the space between Jake's ears. His event horizon buffoonery has the dual effect of making everything around him slightly lamer while sucking unsuspecting victims into wanton sexual indiscretions, which, if you're very lucky, you'll be too drunk to even remember. But, well, look at him. How can you not fuck this guy? I mean, I'm never going to fuck him again, but I bet there's a good chance that you want to. Don't even try to say you don't, because no one's buying it. After all, that's what this entire lecture is about to boil down to. Decisions made based on the primal fuckability of the dumbest asshole on earth. The crowd is all in a tizzy waiting for Jake to sashay his famous ass back up to the podium. It was quite melodramatic, that little assassination fake-out I staged. It might have even inadvertently jumped the Vantis campaign at the polls. Of course, I'd never do something so stupid as turn Karkat Vantis into a martyr. God, could you imagine? The last time some incompetent asshole with his blood color bumbled his way into a tragically symbolic death, the entire troll race spent half a millennium stroking themselves off to it until they were convinced hearing the word fuck could trigger spontaneous enlightenment. No thanks. Jake's gonna put an end to Karkat's political career with the level of gravitas it deserves. All the pomp and circumstance of a wet fart. Here comes the man of the hour. He stops at the base of the stage, adjusts his bow tie, rolls the hemline of his shorts up another notch to show off the top quarters of his finely tuned and greased vastus lateralis muscles. He slides the endorsement speech Dave has so considerately prepared for him out of his front pocket. I let him read it over one more time, even though there's nothing in the universe that could possibly matter less. Yo, you sure you still want to do this? Yeah, it's not too late to call it off, by which I mean this entire fucking comedy of errors that Dave preposterously insists on calling a campaign. Or how about the election itself? We can put the kibosh on that too if you want. If you're feeling uncomfortable, Jake, just say the word. We'll stick a prong shovel into the whole deal and go home. Dave elbows him. Or, just your speech. Don't be daffy, chaps. If I were the sort of man to talk at a bit of hot potato in the evening, I wouldn't be where I am today. Dave and Karkat exchange a look. They don't stop him, though, because a plan is a plan. Jake spins on his heel and goes swaggering up toward the podium, grinning cheek to cheek at the familiar sound of a crowd chanting his name. He sets the speech down and smooths out the paper, only to find his hands swamped with sweat. What's that, Jake? You didn't notice your hands were sweating until now? Not surprising, considering how overtaxed your precious few neurons are at any given time. Hello, folks. Andy, weather we're having here, isn't it? Jake's hands are so sweaty they've smeared the words in the speech beyond recognition. He begins to panic. Thank you, everyone, for coming out on this bender of a day to do whatever it is that we've all congregated to do. At the bottom of the stage, Karkat and Dave put their heads together in adorably platonic conspiratorial kinship. Karkat whispers directly into the shell of Dave's ear. I don't even have to direct him to do that. It's just his natural inclination to practically stick his tongue straight to the center of Dave's skull, while practicing a bit of perfectly harmless, non-sexual, intimate close talking. Jesus, if I have to watch one more minute of this beta bitch calamity, I'm gonna fucking dissipate on an atomic level. What is he doing? I saw him reread the speech. Yeah, I don't know. He does this public speaking shit every day. Maybe this is just how he warms the crowd up. Let's give him, Dave, are you okay? Oh, I'm fine. For a moment something felt off? Again? What, is the assassin going to take him out after all? No, it's not that. It's wonderful to see such a jammy cornucopia of supporters. By golly, a lot of you are enthusiastic about that Karkat chap. Which means that we potentially have a few things in common since I've come here to I've come to... Jake tugs at collar. Jake tug at collar. Jake no speak good. It feels tight suddenly. He's dripping buckets down under his suspenders. Dark patches are starting to form on his dress shirt. Rather, that is to say, in delicate times such as these, even though usually it's a tough of a bad idea to talk politics in public, today we have all most suddenly gathered here to have what is definitely a political conversation. Yes, that does seem to be the lay of the land. That I've come here to tell you all about my political opinions, which I will get to shortly and with minimal verbal bric-a-brac, because I fucking hell. He's trembling so hard he begins to worry that the crowd can hear him, like the sound of somebody shaking a soda can filled with coins. He goes pale as the depravity of what he's about to do hits him like an 18-wheeler. I've made a terrible mistake. Hey, Jake, don't undersell yourself here. You've made several terrible mistakes, especially as of late. One might even say that you've made a shit ton of them, and that's just this fucking week. Or, if you prefer, a roast of jalopy stuffed to the whirly gigs with gum feculence, or whatever inept combination of archaic word garbage will help underline the sheer level of personal failure you've managed to achieve. Why don't you have a good long think about that, Jake? Is this really the time for a good long think? Jake muses to himself, actually putting a finger to his chin like some public domain clip art picture of a befuddled guy. If the crowd is confused by his rapid cycle mood changes, they don't show it. Jake's got a bit of a day drinking problem, which has been slavishly documented in the global tabloids. That's how you avoid responsibility, isn't it, Jake? You can fool your fans, but not yourself. The truth is that there's a candiness to the act. It's partially cultivated. You're stupid, but you're not nearly as stupid as you pretend to be. What in the devil am I thinking coming here? Why did I came here to slide the biggest knife any motherfucker ever wielded directly into your friend Jane Crocker's back? She loves you, Jake, more than anything, and you toyed with her heart, and you would have guiltlessly toyed with her kettle drums too, if it not been for a bit of divine intervention, let's decide to call it. But wait, you're thinking, wasn't Jane merely executing a— Whoa, holy shit, it's loud as fuck. Thanks, Wow Egg. Fucking hell. Wasn't expecting that. Thanks for the follow. I have my fucking volume turned way the fuck up, and it was just like, surprise! Jeez. Thank you. Thank you. Whew. But wait, you're thinking, wasn't Jane merely executing a cold-blooded maneuver to rein you into the stale of her campaign using her body? How are you the bad guy here? That's true, she was trying to do that, but come on. She is ever so much less experienced than you in these matters, Jake, and without certain invisible guardrails in place to prevent it, she would have thrown herself at you again and again with wide-eyed girlish wonder. Or at least it's what you like to believe, that people can't resist you, that you have no responsibility for their feelings, that everyone uses you, that you're the victim. Yes, it's so unfair that anyone in this universe, or the last, has ever had a single expectation of Jake English. Why should anyone respect your personal autonomy when you're practically begging to be taken advantage of? So tell me, Jake, which one of us is really the bad guy here? Jake begins to tear up. He wipes his eyes with what he thinks is a subtle and manful feint, but everyone in the crowd sees what's up. He's trembling, feeling small and naked and raw, like new flesh after a scab's been pulled away. He's scared. He's been scared. He's been running from this feeling his entire life, all because he was so pants-shittingly afraid of being in love with Dirk Strider. And why wouldn't he be afraid? He knows what will happen when he finally admits it, knows deep down that to truly love Dirk would be to submit to him. That's a scary thought. It takes a certain degree of mental fortitude to admit that you love someone so intensely that it could subsume your entire personality. But Jake can see now that it's simply how things were meant to be. There are leaders in this world, and there are followers, which is a fact that has absolutely nothing to do with the position one prefers in the bedroom. Jake can't believe he's wasted years denying something so elemental to his nature that it might as well be on the periodic fucking table. He braces his shaking hands on the podium and tries to catch his breath. His mouth is filling with saliva, much like he does when he's about to throw up, or when he's desperately, devastatingly aroused. Jake, are you aroused in public thinking about your ex? And in such tight shorts. Sorry, I'm overdoing it. That should be enough. Dude's about to pop off. The words erupt from his mouth like a tragic, Dirk-thirsty Vesuvius. I love Dirk! I'm in love with Dirk! And to love Dirk is to obey him. What would Dirk want him to do in this situation? Definitely not sell out his good and dear friend Jane for a loudmouth pipsqueak who noisily transcends failure even as he redefines it. Do good by her, Jake. Do good by me. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Boy, howdy. Sorry about the hiccup there, folks. Hiccup? So much shaking my fucking head. I've been dealing with some personal issues as of late and was momentarily distracted, but never mind that. I know you've all come here today to hear. There has been quite a ruckus in the press these last few weeks concerning the subject of the election, and more importantly, where I stand on the candidates. So today I'd like to set the record straight on that matter, as well as all other matters. You see, takes a deep breath. Oh no, is he about to do what I think he is? What the fuck is happening? Karkat whips his head around and sees Dave bolt toward the stage, his palm outstretched to stop Jake from doing what he thinks he's doing. He's fast, but not fast enough. Jake opens his big, dumb mouth to make the only important contribution to the plot he ever has or ever will make in his whole sad, pointless joke of a life. Hi? Having said that, it's not like we're gonna sit around and listen to any more words coming out of his mouth when we strictly need to. Christ almighty, what are we, masochists? Nah, that's enough of that. Let's see what John's up to. Cool, we're just gonna hop back and forth, huh? Meet 35. You zap back to Earthsea with the last of your energy, and I do mean last. You place your first foot on the ground, stumble forward 3 steps, and cough up blood. Terezi has to catch you under her arms, but you're already going translucent around the edges. Your skin is cooling to the touch. The poison is coursing through your blood so fiercely it's making your veins feel like cords. Terezi can tell you're dying. She's not in great shape herself, but she managed to tug you to your feet. John, come on, let's get you to Jane. You try to remember if you've ever been revived by Jane before. You honestly can't recall. So much shit has happened. Maybe? It doesn't matter. This isn't a wound you can recover from. It's game over this time. No healing, no afterlife, no cosmic clock proclaiming your sacrifice is heroic. The poison needling through you is antithetical to narrative relevance. You're not dying, John. You're being erased. Cherubs don't fuck around. We've both been learning that the hard way. I guess it's tragic, though maybe not in the conventional sense. My view is the real tragedy with you, John, is that you never mattered all that much. To those at the top level of cherubs, and now my level as well, you were never all that special, despite the critical role you played. You were just a middling glob of human glue used to seal one glaring gap left in canon. A simple tool to be wielded by a mechanic whose consciousness has risen high enough to see the machine for what it is. Your complete lack of remarkability, specific motivation, drive, opinion on where you direct your own fate, these deficiencies are exactly what made you so useful, so susceptible to being endowed with the you-ness. I borrowed to satisfy my purposes. You slip from Terezi's grip and faceplant into the grass. You hitch an elbow beneath yourself so you can roll over onto your back. You want to see the sky. What was it that you thought when you went home, John? Back to your real home. That the sky here was too bright? That it looked like someone nudged the contrast a couple degrees in the wrong direction? How does it look now? You close your eyes against the light. I don't think it matters. I don't think this is a wound Jane can fix. Don't be ridiculous! Terezi, for once in my life, I'm being serious, okay? As soon as I got bit, I was dead. No, even before that. I was at the moment I woke up that morning. Well, that was a little melodramatic. Not quite, John. You died the moment you made the decision to go meet your destiny. You would have lived if you made the other decision, under a certain definition of the word living. You might have even lived until the end of your immortal lifespan, as shitty as that sounds. The objective reality of that life might be in dispute by some of the more pedantic canonistas out there, the outspoken sophists when it comes to what counts and what doesn't. They know who you are, but whatever kind of life in a bubble you'd be living, at least you'd be still breathing in it. That was the actual choice Calliope was giving you that day. That's why she looked so sad when you decided to fight Lord English, even though you knew both then and now that it was the only choice you possibly could have made. It was, John. This was the best outcome for everyone, I promise. John? Hey, come here. Terezi kneels at your side. She doesn't do anything sappy like take your hand, though, mostly because she knows how this is going to go, and doesn't want to experience a tactile sensation of feeling your pulse slow under her palm. I've got, dying words to say and stuff. Really? Dying words? Oh my god, Egbert, you really are the lamest person who has ever lived. This isn't a movie, you complete dumbass. Dumpass. You're dying and you won't even let me help you. Terezi, are you crying? She wipes her eyes and nods. I can't believe it. I resent the implication that I would pretend to be unaffected by your death after we had an emotionally significant sexual encounter in the back of the four-wheel device once belonged to your dad, Human Lucis. I guess even after all that, I'm still a little intimidated by you, huh? Still? Yeah, I mean, you have black feelings for me, but I just can't feel stuff like that. I'm just a human after all. John, it's okay. I'm glad that I got to be with you, even if it was just for a little while. Do you mind if I say something stupid? Potentially, even multiple stupid things? Would you still say them even if I said no? Probably. Then I'll be at your deathside. Then I'll be your deathside confessor. Say all the stupid things, John. I will remember them for you. Wow, that actually sounded kinda romantic. She doesn't confirm or deny the intent of her statement. She cries quietly and waits for you to say whatever dumb shit is rattling around inside your poison-addled mind. There's a chilly breeze rolling in from the mountains. It rustles through the trees, breaking the perfect silence of an autumn afternoon. You try to touch her face, but you can barely see now. You miss and lovingly caress the air instead. Your hand lands back on your chest. You feel blood soaking through your shirt. You're bleeding again. Oh man, now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of anything significant to say. I always hope that if I was in this position, I have something really awesome and memorable to say. Like Nick Cage would, if he died. Don't worry, I'll tell everyone you said something really cool. Would you really do that for me? If you want me to. I don't think anyone will believe you. No, they will. I promise I'll watch every shitty movie you like, and find just the right stupid fucking quote, and something that nobody would ever doubt John Egbert would use as his final words. They'll believe it, trust me. I'll make them believe it. Terezi, I think I really... Don't you dare. I really love... Don't you dare fucking die on me in the middle of a love confession. I forbid it. But I... Then John dies in the middle of a love confession. Terezi leans closer, then holds perfectly still. She tilts her ear toward him and sniffs once. There, she can hear it. The slow seeping of blood, like a distant stream. The scent of his life leaving his body, strangely unmistakable. Like the quality of the air before it rains. She listens to him bleed while she smells him die. Terezi...
Boy, wow, that's a callback. That's a fucking callback.
Terezi presses her ear to his chest and confirms that his heart has stopped. Her tears dry up at that. She's so devastated she can't even fucking cry. What is she supposed to do now, when John was the one who asked her to come back to this place? Would she ever have had any intention of returning if it weren't for him? She doesn't know anymore. She remembers his voice, so earnest and friable, asking her over and over again to come home. In multiple realities, all he wanted for her was this, to be home safe, with all their friends. And now that she's here, she's lost. Legs shake and she gets to her feet and takes a whiff of the horizon. Where the fuck am I, she thinks. How do I just get on with living here after everything that just happened? That's definitely a fair question, but I have one that's much more important for her to answer. Terezi, are you serious she's going to leave the body there? Huh? Of course not. Terezi's a practical girl, after all. She digs the wallet out of her bloodstained pants and captures the corpse. She holds it close to her heart, like a secret. Like John's stupid last words, a confession whispered for her and no one else. And then she starts walking home.
It really just feels like they just wanted John to die, if I'm perfectly honest. It doesn't really feel like it was narratively important for him to die.
836. So it turns out that home is an entirely abstract concept, a state of mind, if you will, rather than a literal physical construct that can make you feel one way or the other. Terezi's been gone long enough that her friends seem like strangers, entangled in relationship dynamics that she's obliquely occluded from, embroiled in petty feuds, obsessed with politics. Oh.
All the F's. F's in the chat for John Egbert. Meet John.
Oh, do you want to know how those petty feuds and political obsessions turned out, by the way? I thought it was pretty obvious, but I'll say what's up anyway. Jane swept the election, of course. I told you I was going to win. After Jake's incoherent and scandalous heel turn at Karkat's ill-fated rally, no amount of esoteric three-dimensional JPEG artifacts could have salvaged the Vantage campaign. Besides, Dave and Karkat now have other concerns. Mainly that their BFF Jade has been in a coma for an entire month. They've been in and out of the hospital handling her affairs. Her next of kin is listed as John Egbert, and no one's seen him in ages. It's like he just disappeared suddenly, like some great hand came out of the sky and crossed his name off the big list of guys we never need to give a shit about anymore. Terezi heard about Jade from a rather harried Kanaya, who has doubtlessly run ragged from the hot potato plot circles that have been sending her on for weeks to stop her from reading me the riot act for kidnapping her lovely wife. The woman is obviously hysterical and needs to chill the fuck out. I mean, she's hysterical because I've been specifically and deliberately causing her to be that way, sure, but still, she should be fine soon enough. It takes Terezi a couple days to work up the what exactly? What is she supposed to be feeling right now? I'm not sure myself. Maybe I should take a minute to think about the thing you're supposed to feel when someone goes through whatever the hell it was she just went through. If I come up with any ideas, I could easily do her the favor of helping her feel it. Whatever it is she's supposed to feel, what she actually feels is empty. Colorless, dried up, as she walks beneath a holographic billboard displaying Jane's glorious victory speech. The ceremony accompanying the speech is patently absurd, stuff with so much pomp and circumstance that Terezi's nose can't make sense of what she's supposed to be looking at. It's all just light and color, signifying nothing. Her internal smelloscope is so discombobulated from the onslaught of pastry-themed floats and Jane's tearful soliloquy at the legacy of responsibility she's about to inherit that she mistakes a familiar figure standing in front of the hospital for someone else entirely. Hey, Kukud, how's Jade doing? Roxy turns around and blinks in confusion. Terezi blinks back. Kanaya had warned her that Roxy had been going through some changes, but this still takes her by surprise. So, in her defense, this was an honest mistake to make. Dave gets half of his genetics from Roxy, after all, and sends her big heart-to-heart about the personal politics of queer onion metaphors, and 10 stages of galaxy braining through the many vicissitudes of the phrase no homo. Roxy decided to really step up her gender experimentation. I guess at this point she's gone beyond stage 10, which I imagine is somewhat like reaching Super Saiyan 2 of gender, and then going even further beyond. She's got the shades trademark now, and sports one of those sweep over hipster cuts Dave loves so much. Nothing ambiguous about this presentation, although, if I'm being totally real, it's a bit derivative. Anyway, I can't complain too much about her decision to crib the Strider style, since, she's family. Besides, capital She. Besides, I'm T-minus 10 hours from fucking off this gay earth forever. It's her life, her gender, her style. She can be whatever the fuck she wants. Roxy's whole face lights up when she sees Terezi. OMG, Terezi, I didn't know you were back. What's up? Roxy. Hi. I thought you were Dave. Oh, LMAO, that makes sense. Although, for a minute, you were appreciating my rad new look. Or I thought for a minute you were appreciating my new rad look. But, I know I got ways to go before I dethrone the original cool kid. No, you're very cool. In fact, I would probably venture that if we were judging coolness in a formal cool
coolness contest, judged by the pros on a completely objective basis, you're actually about 1,000,000,000 times cooler than Dave.
Wow, thanks.
Which is a fact that seems so obvious that I've definitely knocked several ranks off my own personal coolness attribute by even saying it out loud, rather than allowing it to be assumed.
Elbow, no way. Terezi, you're like the raddest chick I know.
Terezi's jaw tightens. She's not ready to hear any words a reminder of those few hours with John. Her hand goes to her pocket, where she's keeping the wallet. She traces the contours of it with her thumb and forces a smile.
If you say so. Yeah, I fucking do say so. Don't make me repeat myself.
Roxy seems almost effusive despite the circumstances. An earthy, genuine effusiveness that lights her up from the inside. Terezi's head is filled with stories about a different version of Roxy, the polar opposite of the one standing in front of her.
So, you're here to see Jade, huh? Yeah, I heard what happened to her and thought I should come. Well,
Pay respects? Nah, that's dumb. Terezi knows it's dumb. This is just a motion you go through. John would definitely want to be here, though, and technically Terezi has taken him with her. He may be in her pocket, but lately she's been feeling more like he's under his skin. She hasn't told him what happened, but at least she knows she can look at him whenever she wants.
Yeah, it's looking grim. On one hand, she's just laying there, so there's not really a chance of her doing anything either heroic to off herself permanently. But it's also been so long. It's like, is she just gonna sleep forever?
Sleeping forever definitely sounds like a Jade move to me.
Yeah, well, I feel bad cracking jokes about it, but I think that's what she'd want. Us having hope and all.
Yes. Where's Calliope? You two are still together, right?
Oh, God. Back when Jay first got all effed up, Callie said something that made them freak out. It took me weeks to convince them that it was safe to come home. But now we got the opposite problem, and they aren't leaving the house at all. They stay home all day with the blinds drawn, painting some weird-ass shit on the walls.
What?
It's not as bad as it sounds, I promise. Some of it is, weird and violent, like lots of nasty purple blood and, nudity? Yeah, yikes. But most of it is cute stuff, like various combos of all of us being happy and getting married and shit. Anyway, that's kept Callie kind of busy. So it's hard as hell to convince them to let me come see Jade at all. It's like they're traumatized, and they think they'll drag whatever possessed Jade back into our home with me.
Does Callie know what happened to Jade then?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not gonna push them. Callie's got all kind of hang-ups about their existence and purpose and potential lack thereof. When they're ready to talk about it, I want them to be able to talk about it,
Yes, it does sound like pushing them when they're vulnerable will just backfire.
Terezi startles a bit when her phone buzzes. Who would even be messaging her now, when the only person she ever talked to is currently dead in her other pocket? She's intrigued, but thinks better of worrying about it. It'd be rude to look at her phone while she's in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, that reminds me, have you seen John lately?
Terezi's heart skips a beat. It's almost as if Roxy's the one reading her mind.
Why do you ask?
No one else has asked yet. Roxy gives a shrug. A conflicted look crosses her face, but I can't see past it. With the dead cherub out of the picture, the aura of void surrounding Roxy once again is impenetrable. Those baller shades aren't exactly improving my odds of reading her either. I'll say again what I've always felt about her on some level. Some riddles were never meant to be solved.
You went back to the medium a while ago, right? I thought maybe you and he crossed paths.
Terezi does not flinch. Her pleasant expression does not falter. She's good at the appearance of confidence, even when racked with indecision and grief.
No, I haven't seen him.
Oh, excuse me. Fucking hell.
Oh. Damn, that's too bad. Callie and I have been worried. Kinda hoped he would have come back. Or at least let us know what he's up to. Ugh, between this and what's going on with Jade and the lack of closure is gonna keep me up at night.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew what to tell you.
Hey, it's fine. You can't fix everyone's problems.
I know.
Roxy pinches her lips together and examines Terezi over the rim of her glasses for a moment. Maybe, having watched her own friend group suffer stress fractures recently, she understands the weight of those words as uttered by this specific person, because Terezi is a fixer, and it has been a very difficult lesson for her to learn that some things are simply out of her control. Maybe just that Roxy can hear the bone-deep sorrow in her voice.
Oh my fucking god, it's him, you fucking oaf.
So does Terezi know? Oh, her. Yeah, got it.
What? Who are you loudly whispering to?
Oh, nobody. Oh, my bad. Why not send him my regards? Tell him he makes a kick-ass him for me. It suits the hell out of him.
I'm not fucking telling him that.
Whatever was bothering Roxy, it passes quickly, and he says nothing about it. He puts his hand on Terezi's shoulder and gives it a warm clap. The fraternal kind, which a couple of solid dudes might exchange after having just broed out. It's convincing, actually. Reasonably authentic, and quite masculine. He's off to a great start exhibiting the mannerisms associated with his chosen gender. I'm genuinely proud of him.
Okay, well, I should get going. It was nice catching up. Don't be a stranger, all right?
Stranger than what?
You're a riot. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, see you.
As soon as Roxy's gone, Terezi regrets lying to him about John. It's a hard secret to keep, but probably a harder one to reveal. Maybe it would have been better if she had run into Dave instead of Roxy. It would have been easier to confide something like that to Dave, wouldn't it? Well, maybe it would have been easier. Years ago in a different timeline. And even then, she messed that up, didn't she? But we can't beat ourselves up too much for our teen mistakes, let alone the stuff we can't even remember, because it technically never even happened to us. We have enough to worry about as it is, right, Terezi? Ugh! I know you can hear me. Of course I can hear you! You've been broadcasting your nonsense at me nonstop since John zapped us back. I know that every member of your family except this one I had just had a pleasantly brief conversation with is genetically incapable of shutting up. But can't you just let me be just depressed in peace? I feel depressed all the time, but I can't remember ever having the luxury of being peaceful about it. Why should it be different for anyone else? What do you want? Come on, Terezi. You don't belong here. You know you don't belong here. And what the hell do you know about where I belong? What do you know about what I know? Have we even had a single sustained conversation that lasted more than 10 minutes? To be honest, I'm not sure if we ever exchanged any words at all. I'm not sure if we ever exchanged any words at all. But why should that matter? Here we both are. It's a beautiful day. You've got your dead boyfriend in your wallet, and we've already managed to strike such a nice metatextual rapport. So hear me out. I know you've always felt out of step here on Earthsea. I know that you could easily put on a brilliant act that would fool everyone. You could potentially do that for the rest of your life, but it will eat into you, hollow you out like a parasite, because you'll always refuse to allow yourself to be understood. You know you'll never be happy here, and neither will I, because this place isn't for people like us. Dirk, I have no idea what you're talking about. You'll see, if you come with us. Here's an idea. Why don't you bring him with you? Him? Yeah, you saved his body for a reason, right? Maybe it doesn't even have to be the end for him. Endings are kind of overrated anyway. I'll give you some time to think about it. My door is open, but not for long. And I do give her the time. I use the throttle back a bit, just enough so that I'm not whispering directly into her ear when she slips the wallet out of her pocket. She clutches it so hard in her palm that she's digging dents into the leather, and bites her lip. The gentle breeze is all she can hear. It's louder than my voice, and in some understated way, makes my case for me more persuasively. She knows I'm right.
How many are in meat? 44? We got fucking 7 more of these motherfuckers to go through?
Hey, Bobby, what are you doing?
had to sit up for a second. My voice is getting tired.
We make a quick stop back at Rose's apartment. She understandably wants to pack a few things before we leave this planet forever. Not a whole lot, mind you. It's not like she'll be needing many clothes from now on. Oh, come on. Can we keep our minds out of the gutter for more than 2 fucking seconds? That's not what I meant. She'll have to leave her current body soon if she's going to survive the absolute realization of her ultimate self. The new body I've made for her won't have much use for her usual ensembles. That's what I'm saying. Do you really need all this crap? Rose is sprawled out on her bed, resting. It's pretty much all she can bring herself to do these days, but in spite of her physically incapacitated state, her stare tracks me intently as I root through her belongings at her behest. No, I don't. I don't need it, but I'd like to have it. Some of it. Just the important things. The memories that matter most. We're gonna make new memories. We have countless millennia ahead of us, the entire breadth of infinity. The past 7 years on this planet are cosmically irrelevant. When we get where we're going, you won't even want to remember this benighted rock anymore. Rose opens her mouth to launch into what would surely lead to a belabored and cyclical argument, but she doesn't have the strength. She groans instead. I know it frustrates her. It frustrates me too. That's why I want to get out of here as soon as possible. I'll let my voice soften. Rose, everything is going to be fine. But Dad... She pleads, affecting an exaggerated whine that sounds unintentionally authentic with how weak she is. Rose is really leaning to this particular line of irony, hamming it up with the dad jokes as if she derives some bizarre gratification from the fact of our relation. It's an apparently endless source of amusement to her. I don't get it, and I don't really care to speculate. I sigh and return to picking through her jewelry. The tactic fucking works on me, I guess. Is this the thing you were talking about? This rock rope? Rock rope? Rose lifts herself up barely enough to see. The effort to do just that seems to take everything out of her. She collapses heavily after she gets a look at what I'm holding up, huffing in annoyance. First of all, the word for that object is a necklace. Second of all, does that look purple to you? Don't patronize me while I'm dying. I can't make heads or tails of any of this shit. It's a big pile of shiny garbage. If you're so concerned about it, why don't you just come over here and pick out what you want to pack yourself? I expect at least an aggravated retort, but nothing comes. I glance back and see that her eyes have grown glassy and distant, like 2 round-cut amethysts. Her smile seems due less to fondness than stupefaction. The circles under her eyes are dark, and her head is cushioned on an arm bent beneath it. Keeping her eyes trained on me seems to be the only energy she's able to expend anymore. The omniscient sickness is wreaking havoc on her. I should hurry up. I'm glad I never had to feel whatever she's going through. Not everyone can be built like me. It just means I carry a greater responsibility to take care of those more fragile, especially the ones most important to me. I go through the motions of picking things out of her drawers. Just grabbing stuff at random, because like I said, it doesn't matter. When she next speaks, it seems her mind has wandered. Her voice is distant as her expression. Are you sure Kanaya is going to be okay with this? I slide a drawer shut, shove whatever it is I'm holding into the bag without looking. There's no need to worry about her. How will we break it to her? You're not well enough to stress over this. You should just let me handle it. I can make her understand. What's happening here is the best thing for everybody. She'll come to see that someday. Rose breathes in deeply and exhales. She allows herself to close her eyes. That's a fucking block of orange! And tries to forget these troubling thoughts of the wife she's about to leave. Speaking of which, Kanaya's on her way back to the apartment. She's blocks away, frantically running the direction of this building. She's a pretty fast runner, but she'll have to run faster than that if she wants to bust in here and cause a scene before we go. She senses she isn't going to make it up here in time, and slows to a stop. She takes a moment to consider how she's going to play this. She's beside herself with rage. Her phone is out, poised to call someone, probably me. But she needs to gather her thoughts and figure out what to say. She knows she's been played by it now. She's sure of it, and so has to think of exactly what she can say to me to stop this from happening, or if nothing else, delay it long enough to force a confrontation. At least, these are all things she's telling herself right now. They're only thoughts, after all, things she decided she believes, after neurotically parsing certain patterns of behavior from me and her wife. I guess from her ignorant alien position, it's reasonable to be suspicious that something shady is going on. But is it really? Is she sure she's not misunderstanding something? Could she have misread the signals, or falsely assigned nefarious intent to a perfectly innocent series of events? As her breathing slows and her calm is gradually restored, suddenly she isn't so sure. Maybe she's gotten this all wrong all along. If you want my take, I think she has gotten this all wrong all along. That's right, Kanaya. You have been getting this all wrong since the very beginning. Your head is spinning with doubt now. Why were you running so fast? Why is your heart beating like this? You find a nearby bench on the sidewalk and sit down to really reflect on this. To question everything you've been getting so worked up over. The thing is, what you're suddenly questioning isn't so much about whether your suspicions that Rose and I have been sneaking around behind your back are wrong, per se. It's that you're starting to wonder if they're right, but you've been the one who was wrong to object. This revelation hits you like a kick in the chest. It's heavy, it hurts, but only for a moment. Then you find it's like a weight is lifted off your shoulders, to finally face the truth. If Rose has been spending more time with me than you, if she's realizing she resonates more with me due to our natural similarities and finds my presence more rewarding than yours, then what does that say about you, Kanaya? Doesn't it confirm that you've always suspected deep down that as flattering as it was that someone like Rose would give you the time of day, and as nice as that made you feel for as long as she was willing to put up with you, the truth is, on some level, you always understood that you were never good enough for her? Pale green tears are flowing down your face. You have no idea how long you've been crying. You just notice only now because you finally decided to confront the harsh reality of your marriage. It was always an illusion. You put your face in your hands and sob. The catharsis is relieving, bittersweet. Years of suppressed insecurities melt away. You're finally free of this. Alone, yes, but free. And so is she. You love her with all your heart, and because of that, you generally want what's best for her. Whatever will make her happy. And knowing this, that truly all you ever hoped for was to help her be happy, to be the best person she could be, it brings you comfort. It quells the grief into a dull ache, one that you'll be grateful to keep for the rest of your life, because it will always remind you of what you had with her. The tears will stop flowing. You feel them drying on your face in the cool breeze. Your eyes are clear and focused. You know what you must do now. There is no crisis. There is nothing in which to intervene. Nothing to stop. You tap your phone and hold it up to your ear. Rose? Rose, sweetheart? I'm so... Rose, it's okay. I know everything. You do? Yes, I understand what's going on now. I just wanted you to know how happy you made me. Oh, I won't be long. I just need to say a couple of things. While I can, before I get too emotional about this. I finally get it. I know you and he belong together. I really hope you will both be happy. Whatever you're going through and whatever you decide to do, I will always be thinking of you and be grateful for the life we had together. I always remember you, Kanaya. Thank you so much for everything. For understanding. I didn't know how to. I thought surely you would be.
Roses.
Rose turns her face into the bed to muffle her sobs. I'm holding the phone up to her ear. I move the phone quickly to follow the movement of her head. It's fine, really, sweetheart. I love you. I love you too. Goodbye, Rose. Before Kanaya hangs up, I quickly bring the phone up to my ear to say a few words. Hey, Kanaya, thanks for getting in touch before we take off. We both really appreciate that. Oh. Sure. I'll take very good care of her. I promise. Thank you, Dirk. Hey, one last thing. Before you head back to the brooding cabins or wherever, think you can do me a favor? Of course. You probably heard by now that Jade is sick, in a coma or something. She's in the hospital. Yes? I've got an antidote for that. Medicine of sorts.
If you give it to her, she'll wake her up almost immediately. I left it here on the counter in your apartment. You can come pick it up and bring it to her at your leisure. I see. Yes, I can do that. Awesome. Well, later. I hang up and toss the phone on the floor. She'll be here soon, so it's time to wrap this up. Rose is exhausted, emotionally, physically, the works. She's nodding off but struggling to stay awake. She doesn't want to miss anything important, but there's nothing left to do here. There's no reason to put any more strain on her than necessary. I pull out a syringe full of the same stuff as usual. Worked wonders on Jake, then Jade. Should knock Rose out well enough for the long ride ahead. I inject it in her arm, and her head drops down almost instantly. I pick her up and carry her like a sleeping princess. It slips my mind to bring along her bag of stuff. I walk to the sliding glass door, open it, and we fly away. Boy, they really just wanted Dirk to be a complete dickhead, huh? Sleepy love part.
Epilogue 7, beat 38.
But before we get completely out of dodge, there's one trifling matter I'd better take care of. It's a big day, but not one my dear brother's son and his irascible boy wife seem to be relishing. Dave and Karkat are both squatting in their shameful bunker of defeat, all the curtains drawn shut so that the sunlight cannot disturb an atmosphere that was carefully cultivated to facilitate their sourpuss moping. The only illumination is emanating from the television screen, which broadcasts the bright and sunny scene of Jane's inauguration. She stands at a podium in front of a crowd of thousands of her adoring fans and subjects, belting out one killer speech. I wrote it, so you know it's good. But the mood in here is heavy. I think they've been coasting on denial for a while. But today is a day they have to finally accept that there are no takebacks, no do-overs. Jane is the president, and that's that. Karkat's all balled up on the couch as he stares hatefully at the televised production. He doesn't look up when Dave walks back into the room, carrying 2 massive bottles of liquor. Hey, wanna get drunk?
Huh?
I wanna get all this fucking booze.
You got booze?
Yeah, check it.
You actually went and got it. Like, you literally left the house and exchanged currency with a real live person to obtain alcohol.
Yeah, I walked into the boozery all pigeon-toed and embarrassed, like some fucking hooch noob. Was all like, yo, what's the most pathetic thing you got to drink yourself to death with?
The boozery?
Passed right by the box wine, the bagged wine, the shots they put in those little blister packs by the register, the wine in the little sippy cups with the disposable plastic straws like the juice for fucking babies. I made the last one up. I don't actually know anything about alcohol. Anyway, 2 plastic soda bottles of vodka cooler seems to be about where we're at right now. I think that's what this is anyway. I don't really care as long as it gets the job done. I decided that I'm an alcoholic now. I've always found inebriation to be distasteful, really. Never understood the personal appeal of it, and after seeing how indelicately its effects have touched the other members of our family, I can't help but feel like it's a waste of everybody's fucking time. I'd have half a mind to tell him to dump it all in the sink if I weren't cutting it down to the wire as it is. But you know what? Go the fuck ahead, bro. Might help ease those ridiculous inhibitions for once in his life. Slide the stick out of his ass. Maybe slide something else up there instead if you catch my drift. But I don't want to get ahead of myself here. At this stage, anything could happen. Dave sits beside Karkat on the couch and sets the alcohol down on the table in front of him. He sinks heavily into the cushion with a sigh.
Have you now?
Yeah, it's never too late to develop a substance abuse problem. I've been thinking about it for a while, and it seems like it's time for me to finally get on the wagon and not on the wagon of not being on the wagon.
That's really great, Dave.
Thanks. Anyway, how's the inauguration? You having a good time dwelling on every tiny little factor that cumulatively led to our electoral defeat? And how if just one thing had been different, it would have been us up there?
Ugh, you and I both know nothing mattered in that campaign but Jake's fucking speech.
Yeah. I mean, like, I just keep imagining what would have happened if that absurd Rube Goldberg machine of life ruin and humiliation had been stopped at any point. Maybe just being backstabbed by his endorsement alone was something we could have recovered from with some rigorous counter-campaigning. But what if I had been fast enough to cut him off before he'd even said anything? What if I hadn't accidentally fallen on him on the stage when I was rushing over there to stop him? What if he hadn't freaked out like I set off fireworks next to a nom vet and started trying to fucking scrum me? What if I just backed away from his punch with my legs like a normal person instead of warping the flow of time to escape, causing him to become so startled he shit his pants? What if I hadn't gotten so visibly grossed out by the smell that even the people watching it on TV could tell what had happened? What if he hadn't started sobbing when the audience in the front row started throwing up? What if we'd had better security and stopped that lady from running on stage during the fracas and announcing that Jake has been dodging paying child support for their 3 kids? Like, that was the line.
It wasn't that bad.
You think? Karkat falls into a vacant 1,000-yard stare. Yeah, see, that's why I'm an alcoholic now. Want a drink? I have sympathy, I really do. It's tough to devote so much time and effort to something, come so close to tasting victory, just to have it snatched out of your grasp at the final instant. I might even feel bad about it in another circumstance. But this is how things had to be. It's better this way. They know that. At least, Karkat certainly does.
If I'm being perfectly fucking honest, I'm glad I lost. I never wanted to fucking win in the first place.
Dude, come on.
No, I'm being serious. I'm not even doing some sour grapes I never wanted it in the first place because I'm a sore loser trying to delude myself into thinking I don't care sort of a thing.
Obviously, I fucking care, since now the planet is going to be completely ruined by this jumped-up fascist dictator who has every intention of gradually genociding my species into non-existence before my very eyes. But I cannot fucking think of a single thing in the universe I wanted to do less than be the stupid fucking president. Thank human Obama.
Wait, is there a troll Obama?
I'm the fucking troll Obama, remember?
Karkat, you would have been so much more than troll Obama. God damn it, that isn't the most romantic fucking thing I've ever heard. If Karkat had anything resembling a spine, he'd turn to Dave with those big, sparkling shoujo eyes and finally open his soon-to heart to consummate in their painfully obvious and mutually reciprocated passion. But he doesn't, so he gives a non-committal little sniff and turns back to the inauguration instead. Obviously, I've got an agenda here. It's pretty clear to me that these guys want out of this relationship, despite the fact that both of them being bottoms evidently makes it impossible for them to pass whatever the last ludicrous psychological obstacle stands between them and non-stop animalistic fucking. I've let it go on this for long enough. These two just clearly need some help. I could insist that they just fucking go for it already, using the methods available to me. I'd rather not. There are certain boundaries I'm not inclined to cross, primarily in service of the emotional integrity of my friend's perspective personal arcs. The little moments like these don't mean anything if they're coming from me, do they? As such, insistence isn't the tool I prefer. Persuasion is the one I reach for. And in a case like this, I can't imagine it's going to take that much. They fall into another silence that's more comfortable than it has any right to be. The crowd is really going nuts for Jane now, since she's hit one of the best parts of my speech. She's just blasting the fuck off about how good the economy's going to get. I can feel Dave's teeth grinding all the way down to the narrative fabric of reality. Dave reaches out for the booze. It's past time to get wasted, he thinks. But Karkat is starting to realize how much all of Dave's efforts mean to him. It's really welling up inside him now. He's so emotional about it that he can't help but say something. Hey. Dave stops with his arm outstretched. His gaze turns to meet Karkat's, but Karkat can't bear to hold the eye contact for long. Looking at Dave is like staring straight at the sun. He's awfully handsome, isn't he? Then again, crawling out of a primo gene pool does have its benefits. Yeah, buddy, what's up? Hey, don't worry about it. You don't have to explain yourself to me. I get it. It makes sense. I'd always felt the same way, kind of. Like, about all my shit with Sburb and whatever. The reluctant hero's journey. That feeling where you're being dragged along to being a kind of guy everyone is saying you have to be, but you've never felt like there's any way you can really become. Where every second you feel so sick with your own self-doubt and fear that you can't bear to even imagine the future. And you think, why me? Even though you know it can't be anyone but you, and that's why you do it. Yeah. LOL. I wasn't even trying to explain myself, though. I just wanted to thank you. Huh? For what? Karkat's eyes drift from the TV to the floor. The slightest of smiles tugs at the corner of his mouth. He feels something warm inside of his chest. It feels right. It's something he needs to say.
For everything. Even if we didn't win, I'm glad we tried. I'm glad we went through this together.
Me too.
More than anything, you believe in me in a way nobody ever has before. More than I've ever been able to believe in myself. And I've never really felt like this before.
Felt like what?
I mean, like, you know, it's not like I've never had friends before, people I care about. But when people tell me they care about me, on some level, it's hard for me to really buy it. They can list whatever justifications they have for liking me, and it all feels like bullshit. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You can't really expect me to believe you seriously think this about me. There's no way you actually see me that way. You just feel bad for me. You're talking down to me like I'm some sort of pathetic wiggler who needs to be coddled. Or you're just imagining I'm whatever way you wish I would be. Some person who's better and smarter and stronger and kinder and more valuable than the person I really am. I can never understand why anyone I care about would ever waste their fucking time on me. But with you...
Karkat draws a breath and curls up on himself. His instinct is to pull back, but he's fighting it now. He needs to see this one through to the end.
With you, it makes sense, I guess. When you say something nice to me, I'm like, yeah, okay. That's comprehensible. I see how you got from point A to point B. I can know you the way I do and think about who you are, and I can understand why you'd want someone like me beside you. I don't have to wonder what's missing. You're on my level and I'm on yours. I believe that you see me in front of you the way I actually am, for better or worse, and still like me anyway. So even though it's still hard for me to believe in myself a lot of the time, I believe in you, so I don't need to.
So what you're saying is you believe in me who believes in you. Dave, please.
Dave, please.
Really wasn't sure they were going to go with the Gurren Lagann reference.
Yeah, kind of. Fuck, man, that's kind of deep.
I know.
So, yeah. That's what I've never really felt before. And I'm glad
Come on, you're so close.
I'm glad you're my friend, Dave.
Oh, for the love of God.
This is practically slapstick at this point. My friend? That was the most excruciatingly overblown and socially maladapted love confession I've ever had the displeasure of witnessing, including my own, and he still managed to fumble it into obscurity at the last moment. The gun was barreling in for an unimpeded touchdown and took a hard left straight into the friend zone. It's not like Dave is stupid. He's picking up on the subtext. It's just Karkat's cop-out that's filling him with doubt. It was a little too obviously sentimental. So obvious that maybe the friend thing was a deliberate warning. Maybe relationships aren't a thing Karkat can really do. Maybe if Dave crosses the line, he'll ruin everything. Maybe this excruciating liminal space, something more than friendship, but not quite love, than nothing at all. I look Dave right in the mind's eye and tell him to cut it the fuck out. He wants it. You want it. Just go for it, my man. It's now or never. Oh. Same. I feel every brain cell in my immortal body begin to perish in real time. Dave, you cannot actually be that bad at this. How the hell are you walking around with my genes and still acting like this? So, look, even you can manage to top this guy. You've got it easy, dude. He's gonna open up for you like you just rolled up on a days at 3 a.m. with all the boys in a Groupon. You can do it right here on the couch if you want. Dave scrunches up his face a little like he's constipated. Okay, maybe I'm getting a little worked up. I need to dial it back. Is something wrong? Huh? No. Sorry, I just had an absolutely insane train of thought that kind of sent me for a loop. What? No, it's extremely better that I don't tell you. I kind of forgot what we were talking about because it was so awful. You were talking about Karkat's feelings? He just dropped some touching-ass bomb about believing in you, believing in him, or whatever. You should really get to the root of where this is all coming from. Oh, right. Yeah. All that shit you said about us being friends and on the same level or whatever. Yeah, I feel the same way, basically. Or, like... Well, what? I'm not sure that I like... Go on. I'm kind of getting the feeling that maybe there's a level to what we're thinking that isn't entirely coming across in words. And since we don't have the right words, we aren't getting to the right actions either. What are you talking about? Like, maybe we feel the same way about certain things, but what we're saying and what we're feeling, maybe those aren't exactly the same thing. And maybe we should... We should what? Maybe it's time to talk about that. Well, I guess it's progress? That? Yeah, like how... When you say we're friends, what does that mean? That we're friends? Yeah, but is that it? Just friends? Karkat looks like a deer caught in the headlights. Of course not. You're my best friend. Oh. I see. I've literally been decapitated, and that was less unbearable than this. I don't understand it. I just want you to be happy, man. Why can't you make anything easy for yourself? Well, okay then. Whatever. I kind of don't have time for this shit. The gloves are coming off. The anime ninja training waits are history. It's time to get down to business. You look into Karkat's eyes. You see that twinkle? That's devotion, you unbelievably dense neutron star of a dumb shit. It's sparkling like a visit from your fairy fucking godmother. That shit is pure and true. A supernova of all your hopes and dreams swirling together like a radially effervescent kaleidoscope of more hot boy peckers than you could ever imagine. Dave? But you aren't imagining any peckers other than the one right in front of you. Karkat's probably quite a modest and feminine alien penis. It's the only one you've thought about in years. Suddenly, you can't even comprehend how it is you've gone so long without kissing him. You want it so badly. It would be so easy, and you know he wouldn't turn away. Karkat, you lift a trembling hand and slowly close the scant distance between you to brush your thumb against Karkat's cheek. He freezes in place, terrified. Karkat's lips part, his breath held. His eyes are wide with anticipation. He looks beautiful like this, you think. All you have to do is press your mouth to his and he'll finally know he's yours. You start to lean in. Karkat closes his eyes and relaxes into your hand. He's ready. It's happening. It's fucking happening! Wait, fuck. What? What are you doing? Oh my god, I'm throwing my hands up in the air in the middle of the shit I'm doing because this sucks just that much. What's wrong? Did something... No, I just can't. Shit, it feels like nothing. Dave, don't worry about it. What the fuck is going on? This feels really off. I don't know. I just keep having thoughts I know I'd never think. Oh, come the fuck on. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. He's hearing me but not listening to me. This dude is such a titanium grasp on his own born-again virginity that not even the literal hand of God can compel him to kiss his own goddamn boyfriend. What is that supposed to mean? I have no idea. I'm sorry. Dave pulls away. Karkat looks like he's about to throw up. I'm about to throw up, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't know what to do at this point. He doesn't know it's me, but he's fighting my influence with every ounce of strength he's got. If I push any further, things could get messy. Epistemologically speaking. I could try more of a backdoor approach and nudge them towards the sauce, but I don't know if that even would help at this stage. And my timetable for direct physical intervention is fairly limited. I take a deep breath and get myself under control. My light psychological intrusions may have only made things worse. Invested as I am into the outcome of this encounter, I know forcing their hand would be a mistake. If Dave passes that threshold not of his own will, it'd be a hollow victory anyway. There's nothing I can do but settle down, step back, and trust my boy to bring it home. The gears are turning in Dave's head. He knows he stands at a precipice, and what he decides here could mean everything. Maybe that forced kiss seemed wrong, but he knows what he feels doesn't. He can't deny that, and he can't just forget the fact that when he went for it, Karkat wasn't pulling away. At the end of the day, he knows what the truth is. But really, he always has. Author's note, no, just kiss already. For fucking real, right? So, what are you going to do about it, Dave? This time it's really up to you. Dave meets Karkat's eyes in a rare moment of clarity. It's then, I think, that they both finally realize what's been obvious to everyone else all along. With a measured motion, Dave pulls the shades off of his face. If Karkat was stunned before, he's even more stunned now. The privilege of a Strider Eye moment is about the most earth-shattering experience a young man will ever have in his life. Ooh, here, baby. Come here. You wanna go? Go ahead. There you go. Pup had to leave, apparently. Got pup stuff to do. Where the hell was I? Strider Eye moment. Excuse me. For once, neither of them has anything stupid to say. All they have is an electric connection that is no longer possible to ignore. Dave brings his hand back up to Karkat's cheek in a gesture much more confident than the last. He's not rushing anything this time. He's only doing what feels right, taking it each second at a time. Karkat's tension begins to dissipate from his body in stages. His stiff shoulders drop, his guarded expression relaxes, and when he covers Dave's hand with his own, he's not shaken at all. Karkat helps Dave slip his hand from the side of his face around to cup the nape of his neck. It's a tender, steadying touch. Dave applies only the slightest of pressure to draw him forward, and Karkat follows his lead. They're so close that Dave can feel Karkat's shallow breath ghosting over his skin. Karkat's eyes are shimmering and wet as they flutter closed, moisture beading in his thick eyelashes. His tongue darts out to wet his lips. All that's left is just one more step, just one final inch, and it's over. They both move to close his distance at the same time. There's a second where both of them freeze like that, still in the intimate contact. Nothing but the warmth of each other's bodies and the dawn and realization of a significant boundary crossed. Dave draws in a sharp breath, lets his lips part, and just a little more. That's it. Yes! Wait. Dave, don't linger. Some lines of stress appear on his face. He's struggling with something. No, Dave, don't fucking do this. He's grinding his teeth and putting both hands up to his temples. Beads of sweat dot his brow. This is so fucking unreal. Holy shit, Dave, if you so much as get the fuck out of my head and just let me do this myself! Dude, come here. Oh my god, he fucking just, wow. Dave lunges forward and kisses Karkat directly on the mouth. It's like a Damus burst. Neither of them could hold anything back now if they wanted to. It's like, god damn, I'm sorry, I'm blowing the description here and missing a lot of good shit. It just caught me so off guard. Dave, my dude, I'm so proud of you. Okay, I can do this. I fucking need to do this justice. Cracks the motherfucking knuckles of a yaoi poet and gets down to business. You know what? Nah. I'm not gonna intercede with a single word further, and I won't let you either. I won't cheapen this beautiful moment with my base editorialization just to satisfy your voyeuristic curiosity. Frankly, I'm offended you'd even expect me to. What they're getting up to here is nobody's business but theirs. Dave Cat is canon, and that's really all there is to say on the matter. Let's give these crazy lovebirds some privacy and move on. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, good, a lot of orange and green. Fucking phenomenal. That's what we have to look forward to next fucking week. Meet 39 is where we're going to pick up next time, everybody. So, that's it. That's it. I didn't even need to eat the kind bar. I'm fucking starving. Who texted me? Anyway, that's it. That's it for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, hanging out for me in the chat, everybody, while we went through a lot of this. It's still disappointing to read through because it is of all the similar problems I had before. It really just reads like unofficial fan fiction, but it's just like, oh, let's just see what we can. It really feels like let's see what we can do with it, and none of it feels really like it makes sense, I guess. Like the whole honestly, it's just like let's kill John, flat out. Like the reason is let's kill John because we don't like John. That's how it feels to me. And just other things like that, like. The whole Jane Jake thing is really, really bothering me because it's like they established and cleared that up in Homestuck proper. Why bring it back now? I don't know.
That's the thing, Dewey's doppelganger. None of it feels natural, and none of it feels like it should be happening. A lot of it feels out of character. A lot of it feels like fan fiction. It doesn't feel like Homestuck. So anyway, that's it for this. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me in chat today. If you're watching this on YouTube later, if you liked it, make sure you click the like button down below and subscribe to keep up with my stuff. New videos almost every Monday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. They are my stream VODs. There is a link down in the description below that gives you my schedule and everything like that. I stream every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And comment, what was your favorite part about all this? Was it the car scene? Which was remarkably sweet, actually. Like, looking at it, that was actually a pretty sweet encounter. And then, or like, was it, I don't fucking know what else there could be. Roxy being confident as a trans man. Sure, let's go with that. That's pretty neat. It's pretty fun. Yeah, leave a comment what your favorite part was about all of this. And share with your friends. If you have friends who didn't read the epilogues, didn't want to take the time to read the epilogues, because quite frankly, I wouldn't fucking blame them at this point. I can guide them through this, and we can, have a fucking fit together. How does that sound? Anyway. Thanks again, everyone, for hanging out in chat. Thanks, everyone watching on YouTube. Please stay safe, stay healthy. There's a lot of shit going on right now. So just, if you need to take a second to, take a step back and just help yourself, take the time to do that, please. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you next time. Take it easy, everybody. And so, the curtain falls.